Okay, that's so much better. Hey guys. It's so funny because there's technically no one in here, but that makes me feel, I don't know, weirdly a little bit more comfortable because I am randomly impromptu decided to go live and I was like, let me go ahead and do it on Instagram. And then I was like, I don't know, I don't really feel that comfortable. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and have my little ratchet playlist going on while I get ready. And I figured I can go ahead and update my life since I have not been on your mama, gas on my neck. All you do was sweat. But yeah, so I figured I'd go ahead and just do a live to catch up on what I've been doing in quarantine since I haven't been on BookTube at all. Like, I think it's been 2 months, which is crazy. I have never taken that long of a break. And I think at first it was unintentional. I swear at first, I wasn't trying to be like, oops, what is going on? Cancel chat view. At first I wasn't like trying to not be on BookTube or anything like that. It's just like I haven't felt the desire. Like it hasn't been within me. But I'm about to get ready to record a video. And I was like, while I get ready to record a video, why don't I just go ahead and do it via live, and then I can catch up and knock those jitters out before I go ahead and record a video for the first time in like 2 months because it's been that long. So yeah, that's basically what I am doing right now. And then plus, so cute, I'm actually having a date night, which, I mean, technically we in quarantine, so every night's been date night if we're gonna be real about it. But I think it's cute when you're actually a little bit intentional. So we'll see it. And then basically, I guess I might as well talk about what I'm wearing at the same time. If you watch my other Get Ready With Me, I always pretty much use either Fenty or NARS. And really, I like this NARS, the Sheer Glow. And I'm in the shade Cadiz. And this ish is like skin. Like if I put it on, like you'll see it at first and then it just like melts in. So I love this ish. And I guess at the same time I'm doing this live, I'm over here having my playlist in my ear. I guess right now, Burna Boy, Deja Vu. Hit that up if you haven't. But anyways, what have I been up to in quarantine? In quarantine, it's been very fun. I'm staying quarantine. What is the official social distancing is really what it is. But child, I've been self-quarantining. I have not really been leaving the house at all. Like at all. Today I actually went out to get some weave out my car. That sounds so ratchet, but it's true. Because I'm like, I'm gonna actually do my hair for real and braid it either today or tomorrow. So I was like, let me go ahead and get that stuff out the trunk of my car. So I went out, I live in an apartment complex, put on my little mask and went. Because I'm in an apartment, I feel like I have been so scared to even leave my apartment building. Just because you have to go on the elevator, we're on the top floor, there's just so many levels of interaction as well as a lot of things that could be contaminated, and it's been playing with my psyche, I think, a little bit. So I haven't really been leaving the house at all. But today, because I felt the sun, I was like, you know what? Hi Patrice, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing good with the social distancing, or you're healthy and all that other good stuff. But yeah, because of all that, I haven't been leaving the house, but I'm like, now just going off on the rooftop. Hi Tiffany. Thank you. I'm glad to be back. She said, I miss your videos. Glad to have me back. I'm glad to be back. I'm actually getting ready, believe it or not, to film a wrap up. But y'all probably gonna get a little sneak peek because I got my books over here, so I'm gonna go with the flow and feel how I feel. But Z loves books. I miss your videos. Oh, glad to hear you're doing great, Patrice, and everybody's healthy. Yeah, so I feel like for me, it's been interesting with this social distancing because I be combating, like I have been, before all of this ish jumped off, I was like super stressed, like beyond stressed. Like I was almost at a point where I was like at my breaking point, like about to have a breakdown. And then everything kind of, the world just kind of went crazy and things kind of slowed down, and it's like a horrible situation of all this that's going on. But I think at work and all the stuff that was going on with me, it was like a weird reset. And I think because I had that reset, I almost had a fear of getting back active or something. I don't know how to explain it, but it was kind of like I was just like really focusing on getting back normal, which doesn't make sense when I'm saying it out loud, but it's hard to explain. But I guess I was just like in my own little bubble. I wasn't reading as much. I was really staying to myself. I was trying to build a routine. I was really doing better at waking up at a certain time, waking up, starting my day off with prayer, meditation, all that stuff. Hi, Jay Elliott. Thank you. I miss you guys too. I was telling other people, I'm getting back to it. I'm about to record a video, and that's actually what I'm getting ready for. This and a date night, an inside date night, which is so funny because this is how my brain's all over the place. But I think it's gonna be a really cute date night. I'm actually making Haitian pate, which is like beef patties, almost like Jamaican beef patties, but Haitian beef patties are a little bit different because the dough is like, I might show a picture. I'll put a picture on the timeline so y'all can see, but we having a whole out, I'm calling it La Caille. It's supposed to be La Caille Fridays, but really it's just gonna be Haitian Fridays. I have one of my Haitian soap operas that I stole from my mama's house. And this is one I had never watched a Haitian movie. It's called Les Voleurs, the robbers basically. And yeah, we're gonna have a whole little Haitian night at my little house tonight. So I was like, let me go ahead and get spruced up for date night. And while I'm doing that, I might as well record a video finally and get out of this little funk or whatever it was that I was in. Because now I feel like I'm starting to be better. I'm back reading. And I think having my routine and having my stuff going has got me back into feeling the energy of interacting. Also, I will say that watching... Rachel had a live that she was moderating, and then also last night and Jerry had a live. I feel like the booktube community, they're just so positive, and just being in the chat rooms and having that energy and all that stuff, it just felt good. And I was like, you know what, I miss booktube. Let me bring my little black self back over there and get out my nerves and start recording again, you know. So that was fun. Plus, I've been seeing a whole bunch of stuff. What have you guys been doing on booktube? I've been seeing the quarantine pages with Jerry O'Shale, Melanin Eclectic, a couple other people. I'm gonna forget all the people, so let me not do it. And I haven't actually participated or watched or done any of those silent readings, but I've been seeing a few things I've missed on booktube during my little absence. What have you guys been up to, or what have you guys been reading? Well, if anybody answers that, I guess I'll say what I've been reading. I actually have been reading Zora Neale Hurston's. It's the collection of short stories. I know on my last video, I think that was up, I was saying I was going to read it. Actually had never started it, but I have finally started it. And y'all, I'm so ratchet. I'm going to finally take this out. I'm over here listening to music while I was talking to y'all, which actually was semi-distracting, so I'll stop that. But it's hitting a straight lick with a crooked stick, and so far, ooh, someone said Alicia Keys had a memoir. I didn't know that. Okay, if it was good, okay, let me know. But this is a collection of short stories that some of them were released previously, some of them weren't. But look at this. This is one of my favorite. I think everybody knows this picture of Zora. This is one of my favorite pictures. And if y'all don't know, me and Zora, we have an interesting relationship because I'm originally from Florida, and growing up in Florida, that's all you hear about, because Eatonville, like, she put that ish on the map. Oh, you enjoyed it a lot, the memoir? Okay. Or Z Loves Books, you enjoyed it a lot. Did you enjoy the Zora book? You're not. Ooh, someone. Oh, Tiffany said Zora's book is bomb, and Conversations of Black by Black. Oh, darn. See, on this phone, it'd be hard to keep up once the messages go away. But yeah, I just started Zora's book maybe 2 days ago, and I probably am like 4 stories in. And it has been amazing. Ooh, Beloved. Yes, I know. Oh, okay. Z Loves Books was saying that the Alicia Keys memoir was fire. And yeah, I was in a slump in March, and I will say April as well. April, I think the tail end of April, that's when reading picked up for me. Like, I was like, I can't be coming on here talking about no books, knowing dang all well I ain't even feeling like reading. Child, I'm over here just trying to keep my peace, my sanity, and all my other stuff. And then what am I going to, what? I'm going to come here and tell y'all I read 5 pages and gave up? So I'm finally back somewhat normal in my reading. Like, it's been a struggle, and I'm not even gonna put pressure on myself. Like, even with me saying that, I think because I started this a few days ago and now it got me like reading it and enjoying it, now I feel like that love is coming back. But I'm not gonna put pressure on myself like I have to read X amount or I have to do this. I'm still gonna go with the what do I feel like doing? Because I never want reading to feel like a chore. Like, that for me is like an escape and almost like a hobby. It's something that I enjoy. I don't ever want to take that fun or love out of it. You know what I mean? So anyways, the story so far is starting off really, when I say stories, a series of short stories. I'll tell y'all, for the Zora compilation, I've only read, I think, the first 3 stories. Each of them were good. And it's crazy because the forward was done by Ciara Jones, and that forward was bomb. Like, the forward, you know, I was like, that's what a forward should do. It should make you look forward to the book. Like duh. Like, I was so looking forward to it just by that freaking blurb that she did. And she like basically broke down not just Zora's life, but kind of like Zora, the misconceptions of her life. Give me a sip break. And kind of breaking down how the stories are going to progress in her progression or in her skills of writing, which I find interesting. Let me put this down a little bit, which I've, Mackenzie, you should read it. You said you wanted to. Ooh, I just finished Sharp Object by Gillian Flynn. Oh, Gillian Flynn. Oh, I'm looking forward to the new Elizabeth Acevedo as well. Like, I really am. Anybody knows exactly when that comes out? I remember it was supposed to come out in May, but you know, I've been pretty much out the loop of everything book related. I've been seeing a lot of Not All Boys Are Blue. I think that's the title. I've been seeing a lot of that. Ooh, it come out Tuesday? Thank you. Okay. I wonder how I'm going to get that. So y'all know me. I am like the library queen. Like, library. I actually know I put it on hold, but I need to check if they have the audiobook or if they have an ebook, because that is one thing that I have been doing via phone. I've been checking out books, not really reading a lot of them, but via the Overdrive app. If y'all aren't familiar, if you have a library card, you could use the Overdrive app. It's completely free. You have the catalog of your books from the library. As long as they have an ebook or audiobook, you can continue checking out stuff for free while you cannot physically go into the library. So that has been a great resource for me. Additionally, RB Digital is another app that I absolutely love that you can get free books, because I think I support books. Like, I'll buy them once they come out. Oh, pre-ordered. Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole thing. If you like ordering books and all that other stuff, because of me living in an apartment, not really having the funds to necessarily spend on every book that I want to read, because I be wanting to read pretty much a lot of books. And imagine, I'd be reading about 60 books a year. Imagine buying all of those books. So that's kind of the library thing for me. And also, I just grew up on the library. Like, the library and me, like, that's like a family bond. Like, that's something, like, when my dad would bring me and my sister to the library, like, that was like our peacetime. There's so many resources at the library and all this other stuff. Yeah, Cabe said that they basically use Libby, which Libby, I hear a lot of good things about Libby as well. So yeah, just look at the apps and all that. I do miss the library. It's weird because I think subconsciously, I didn't realize how much of I felt like it was an activity for me to do. Even if I didn't stay in the library, like I would always put stuff on hold. So I would really just be going there to pick up books. And, oh, okay, Tiffany said some libraries are doing curbside checkouts. That's really dope to know. I need to check if Montgomery, if we're doing that. Montgomery County is doing that. But even then, I think I've been so paranoid and not really leaving my house for non-essential items that I wonder when I'm going to feel okay to actually go back into that routine. But I really do miss going to the library. Like, part of my routine would be like after work, I would just go over there. Oh, you miss your campus library. The study areas are so relaxing. Oh my God. Like, that is bringing flashbacks for me. Like, I would go to the library just to be there, which is funny, or just to have, like, it was a place to go. Yeah, I loved my campus. When I was in college, I loved the campus library. Like, I would check out laptops, I would check out equipment, I would just go there even if I didn't have to study sometimes. It's too much. Oh, Liza has an upcoming new release. Oh yeah, she does. It's called Clap When You Land, which I'm looking forward to a lot. But I'm on a tangent, but I just miss going to the library. Like, now in my everyday life, I would usually go there after work, and sometimes I would just go in the middle of the day just because I kind of felt like it, or on a lunch break or whatever, just to go there. Like, something about the library, I think, is like a peaceful thing. And I think it has to do really with the fact of when I was a kid, like, that's where my dad brought us after school. It was kind of like a habitual habit thing. So I would have the school library, then after school we'd have our public library, and we would go there, and I would just spend so much time there. And I don't know, as an adult, it just kind of stayed with me. So now not having that is very weird. Like, I don't know. It's like I don't really have that place in mind that I'm going to regularly, that I know that I go to maybe once or so a week. And that was the funny thing. I would go to the library sometimes even if I didn't have books, like, on hold, just because, like, or it's kind of like not too far from my grocery store. So I don't know. Little things like that have been very interesting to me to adjust to. So I've always used Overdrive and like RB Digital and a lot of these platforms, but now that has become kind of like my go-to for library, and it has kind of been an adjustment for me not having as many physical books. Now, I still have all the physical books I had since before the social distancing and a lot of the businesses had to shut down, but I've read them. So I guess that's one of the good things about having a library at home, if you have books that you purchase, which I do have a few books that I've purchased that I actually should get into and read. But for right now, I'm reading my library hold again of this Zero Neale Hurston, Hitting a Straight Lick with a Crooked Stick. And yeah, it's just different. A calmer experience with physical books gives you time away from the screen. Girl, oh, yes. Well, not necessarily girl. I don't know if I didn't even look at the name, or I didn't ask pronouns or none of that, but I'm just saying that out of habit. But yes, like, time away from the screen. I will agree. Like, I actually have taken up drawing, playful drawing and coloring and stuff of that nature, just to have something to relax me. And I've been reading my Bible more. Like, I actually have been, actually having devotion and time more centered, stuff of that nature. I think to make up for not reading for, I don't want to say pleasure, but as much from physical copies. But, and I guess I should say what I'm actually putting on my face. So this one is MAC in dark tan, and this is something that I used to use this as like a bronzer. And it's actually not a bronzer. I think it's just a face powder. But I'm so in the habit. Like, I feel like immediately it does a little. And then I'll be looking a little bit different, Like, I don't know if it's true, but that's how I be feeling. But now I layer that with my Fenty. And I like Beige and Gal and Caramel Cutie. And you're probably like, who the hell puts on freaking 3 layers of bronzer? Someone who likes bronzer a lot. And I just like bronzer a lot. Like, I don't know. Anyways, y'all are like, I ain't coming here for makeup. Well, what y'all came here for? I'm just kidding. So back to what quarantine reads and all the other stuff, to the hitting a straight lick with a crooked stick. One, I thought it was so dope when it was like, basically that saying's kind of like making a way out of no way, or like kind of finessing the situation and all that. Okay, I'm gonna say that out loud. It's available Tuesday at May 5th. As far as Clap When We Land, for those of you who are asking, hopefully you saw in the comment section that little area. But yeah, so the story so far, I'm amazed that they said that it's gonna get better. The series of short stories is supposed to be that in the 4, they kept saying 8 stories, and I'm like, bruh, this is way more than 8 stories within here. So I guess I'm gonna figure that out. But I'm like 3 stories finished already, and I can say the first story so far. Oh, Cabe said, I'm new to your channel. What's your favorite genre and all-time favorite book? Let me come back to that one. I'll remember that. But so I don't jump all over the place. Hitting a straight lick with a crooked stick. I think it's going to be amazing if it's true that Zora is really going to be able to get better. Ooh, Tiffany says it does get better and really diverse. Because I'm like, I was impressed with the first 3 stories. So you're telling me it even gets better? Because like, it's so dope, y'all. For y'all who haven't read, like, one of the stories, I think my favorite so far is like, one of the stories is about this guy, and I think it's actually the first story, so that's kind of funny. But he like has a desire to go out and like roam the world and like just see more, because right now he hasn't really seen outside of his little town. I think it was Eatonville. Like, he hasn't seen so much outside of Eatonville. And for those of you who are not familiar with Florida, Eatonville is right outside of Orlando, where I grew up. So, oh, you haven't cracked the Zora? Girl, go ahead and crack it up. Crack it open. But he hasn't been anywhere, and most people in that era at that time, they were like, haven't really been past Jacksonville and stuff of that nature. So he has like this huge desire to go out, and his father has apparently had that same kind of zest to get out and see the world and all this other stuff. But his mother was like very anti that and didn't really want him to go see out the world. And I'm not going to spoil the book, or spoil that short story, but the way the story just progressed, that's why I'm like, it's going to get better than this. Like, it was just very relatable, and it was very interesting. It's interesting because Zora, I guess, in the beginning of her writing style, she focused a lot on what it means to be a man and all this other stuff. And then as she got further along, it kind of always tied around a lot of intersectionality of being a woman, being black, and being from the rural South and all this other stuff. So I'm excited to see that evolution throughout the short stories. But even in the beginning, just seeing some of the relationships, I'm going to order this boutique. It's been on my wish list. Love Zora. If you love Zora, get it. If you don't love Zora, get it. Because I will tell y'all something. This will be my first little tangent off of Zora. I grew up in Florida, in Orlando, and I love Zora for the Zora Neale Hurston Festival that we have every year, because you have candy apples, hot sausages, pickled eggs, which I don't even like pickled eggs, but just having them there is cool. Fun fact, I don't even really like candy apples. I just like the first few bites of a candy apple, like getting that crunch and all the, oh, that just feels like childhood to me. And the festival, and learning so much about her and how much she put Eatonville on the map, and all in Eatonville, the history with Eatonville. It's just something, when you're from Orlando and you're black, it's just a part of your life. Now, as far as, ooh, Patrice, y'all need to stop. She Would Be King. Go ahead and recommend that, because I did read that book, and I'm sorry I'm waving this. I loved that book. I need to take notes on stuff I need to circle back. That book was amazing to me. I don't understand why it didn't have more people talking about it because it was just so freaking good. And it's interesting because it's not anyway, I'm not saying it's the same as The Water Dancer, because it's not, but it's interesting how certain books have a lot of push. Not that they shouldn't have pushes, because I do think all books should have pushes, but the way the fantasy element, I should say, or that I don't even want to call it fantasy, because would they be calling it magical realism, or whatever they want to call it? Kind of like I don't even like that term either, but more so like those black people, us as black people, or if you're from the Caribbean, or if you're from some type of African descent, you have a lot of what I guess you'll call magical realism, or fantasy like stuff, where you have a lot of fantasy elements. I guess that's the only way I could say it, but it's not really fantasy elements. It's almost like cultural elements or folklore in a sense, but not really. But anyways, the way that book did it, I thought She Would Be King did it so beautiful, and it was so historically accurate and all that stuff. And I agree with you. A Love for Me said, I enjoyed The Water Dancer, but in my opinion, it wasn't nearly as polished as She Would Be King. I agree. And I'm not trying to pit those things against each other. It's just when I was reading The Water Dancer, I was like, I've read She Would Be King, and She Would Be King did a good job of tying some of those supernatural elements, or having those experiences, into a story. And it was enjoyable to read. Y'all, let me not get on this Water Dancer tangent, because I thought that was a really good book. Did I enjoy while I was reading it? Not as much. And then Kindness of Ghosts by River Solomon has been one of my favorite reads within the past year. Whoever said that, I love that book. I love that book. And it's interesting because that was one of those books where I have this weird thing where I will read a book for about 100 pages. If I'm not into it, ain't no way I'm reading a book that I don't feel. Like, if I don't like a book, I'm not finishing the book. Like, I'm not one of those people, oh, I started it, so I have to finish it. An Unkindness of Ghosts, I forget how many pages I was in. Maybe like the first 40, 50 pages. I was like, this is not good. I can't grasp this. I'm not enjoying this. I'm going to stop. And then something had me keep reading it. And best decision ever. That book was it tied to me so emotionally beautiful, and it was really sci-fi. Like, it was true science fiction, as far as the plants, as far as the medical thing, as far as it being technically like in space, like, and it touched on so many topics. Y'all, if y'all love science fiction, read that freaking book. It's so good. I digressed on a lot of things. Somebody asked me in here, what's my favorite genre? That is very hard question for me to answer, because I don't know if I have a favorite genre. I will say I have favorite genres depending on my mood. Like, I love science fiction, but I feel like there's not as many, the quantity of science fiction books are not as many out there. But I would say if there's a genre that I feel like truly gets me excited, it's probably science fiction. But at the same time, the books that I read most are mostly nonfiction, surprisingly. Yeah, I'm a genre whore, because I love young adult, I love romance, I love contemporary. I like books, y'all. It's hard for me to pick a favorite genre. And as far as a favorite book, I could never in my life pick a favorite book. Like, could y'all let me know, what are y'all favorite genres, if y'all have a favorite genre, if y'all actually could pick that out, and if y'all freaking have a favorite book of all time. That's so hard for me. I couldn't even, if I wanted to try to think of something right now, think of it. Let me put something on my lids so I could get this thing crack-a-lacking. Where's my thingy? But someone was saying that they found themselves bored while they were reading The Water Dancer. I am going to keep it all the way funky with y'all, which I think on my, sorry if my sound's going in now. I'm trying to look for, I usually put a little bit concealer on my eyelids before I put eyeshadow on. Ooh. So Z Loves Books says they have a favorite book, not genre. Some other people are saying, let me see what other people are saying. Let me catch up with the comments. Contemporary fiction, The Bluest Eye. Okay. Oh, yes. My favorite genre is nonfiction, memoir specifically. Okay, love for me, I'm too much of a moody reader to have a favorite genre. I certainly do not have a favorite book of all time. I just keep options and okay, copy that answer and that's my answer. That's exactly what I was trying to say. My favorite book, that's tougher, but I have like top 3 books of that don't change of all time. Oh, let me hear them. I would love to hear them. A Piece of Cake by Cupcake Brown. Okay, speculative fiction. Oh, I love short stories. You know, it's so funny because I don't have a favorite genre, too many to enjoy, but sci-fi, contemporary fiction, and YA are top 3. Okay, if I had to, someone was like, you have to pick top 3 right now, or I'm gonna make it so you can never eat cheese or chocolate again in life. I'd be like, okay. Top 3 are, in no particular order, science fiction, memoirs, and romance. Y'all are so horrible because y'all better not hold me to that. That was like, my eyes, there's my tear ducts. It hurt me to even have to vocalize and say that because I feel like I'm cheating on other genres and that didn't feel right with my spirit. It didn't align with my spirit to say something like that. But that's what I would say if I was forced. But I am a moody reader. It depends on what I'm feeling at that moment. Because I will agree, I forget who specifically said memoirs. Specifically, I love nonfiction, but I don't like nonfiction necessarily if it's just about all these random topics. I like people stories, and that's why I freaking love documentaries. Like, since a young kid, it did not sit well with my soul. No, it didn't. Since I was a young kid, I was that weird kid. Well, it's probably not weird, now that I think about it. But I liked documentaries and biographies. And at that time, I don't even think people used to say memoirs. Maybe they did, but back then I would always think of, it was always in the section autobiographies and biographies. And I would stay in there. And I was like that little effing kid that was checking out freaking biographies, and the librarian or whatever be like, oh, try to get a children's book. And I'd be like, do I look like a fucking child to you? No. Over here like 7 or 8 years old. So in here talking about something. Negro, I'm reading what I want to read. But yeah, so I just love freaking people stories. And I freaking love documentaries. Now, since we done took a whole tangent, I'm gonna come back, y'all, on topic. But documentaries, have y'all seen any good documentaries lately? Because bruh, have I. So I currently am watching the series, of course, The Last Dance. Michael Jordan, the 98 Bulls star. I was reading that story, and I love documentaries. I love sports documentaries, people documentaries. I love crime series. I'm scared of saying this on live because it almost seems like I have a semi-obsession with crime stories, mainly the psychology behind why this happened or the unsolved mysteries with stuff. I'm also watching the Atlanta child murderers. That's on. Oh, A Love From Me. You just finished the first episode of The Last Dance. How did you like it? I'm looking forward to it. It's again tomorrow on the next 2 episodes. Every episode, I feel like they've just been doing such a good job of tying it all around. Also, because even though I was alive during this, I feel like, have you seen Mindhunter? No, I have not. Let me write that down. If you could do a quick, what is it? Is it a documentary? Because, the Khalif Browder story. Okay, I told you I love documentaries. Y'all about to make my tear ducts. Well, I think I have limits. Something about, I can't, because I think it's because I was alive and functioning and following that story and kind of knowing that story while everything was happening. And then also the meeting with Jay-Z and all this other stuff. I cannot watch that story. Maybe eventually at some point I will, but it's too emotional for me. It's almost like, I haven't watched, what is it called? It's not a documentary, but it's a freaking When They See Us. Yeah, see, I cried so much watching it, so heartbreaking. Because I already know the pain that I experienced live, I don't want to relive that. I think when I watch documentaries, if it's new pain or something that I don't know, it's my first time grieving the situation, so I can do it. But that I can't touch it right now because I know, and I already had the grieving process on my own, so I can't do it. But I will say that the Atlanta child murderers, oh, When They See Us, yeah, I can't watch that because maybe one day, I have no desire to. I'm so glad that it happened. I actually am the weird person who had my Netflix running just to give them the view, had it on mute, and was in a different room because I was like, I think it's an important story, but I can't put myself through that. But I am watching the Atlanta child murderers, which that happened in the late 70s, I think late 70s, early 80s. And I actually listened to the podcast, and I had never knew much about the Atlanta child murder. Like, I never knew much about it. So it was kind of like I was going through it for the first time. And I enjoyed the podcast so much that when they brought it to HBO, I was like, I have to watch it. So I'm watching the docu-series on HBO about it. And I just find it so fascinating understanding the politics behind everything and how, because of where Atlanta is at today, that's kind of a result of all that happened, and how they kind of like, oh, I knew nothing about the Atlanta child murderers before listening to the podcast either. I hadn't. And it's interesting because they're doing the series, but the series it's different than the podcast. Like, there's some similarities, but I feel like they gave us further insight, and there's different interviews and even more freaking information that I had never knew about it that's coming out. So I'm really interesting. So, you listened to the DC Sniper version of the podcast, and it was crazy good. Okay, my husband is listening to that, and he told me that, Vivi said she thought the podcast is better than the HBO doc. I would say if you had to choose one, I would listen to the podcast first, yes. But it's almost like a supplement, and it's different. So it's like a different take of it, and there's different information that's kind of being brought up during it. But anyways, while I'm on live, since y'all can actually help me because I'm struggling, what color would y'all do out of these colors for a lid color? Like, you could say, even, I know y'all don't know the names, but you could say a purple, you could say one of these shimmers, pink shimmers, a red. Ooh, this is white, is actually a gold. This is what Jackie Aina does. This is the Jackie Aina palette random with Anastasia. I think I'm gonna do this green because I love this freaking green. But I'll let y'all tell me while I do something else. But back to the documentaries. United Skates doc on HBO is good. Okay, let me put this in my other phone because I am gonna look into that. Oh, Patrice, you didn't know about it. It's interesting because when I talk about some, it's my mother-in-law. She moved to Atlanta after the child murders, so she knew about kind of like the aftermath of everything, but not really while it was happening. So, okay, some people saying orange, gold, brown. Someone said purple. Okay, so, oh my God, can somebody put, United Skates. I was going to say, can someone please say it again? Because I forgot already. United Skates, HBO. Okay, I'm going to look up what that's about and check it out. Ginger or edges. So I know a true palette lover when I see one. Ginger, that ish is my ish. So ginger is what I put usually in my, like in my crease. Now edges, have I used edges? Oh, so that's similar. So you really like those red, brown. Someone said purple. It's so funny because when I saw this, I actually loved this palette more so for the purple because for some reason I hadn't really been seeing purples anymore. Like purples was when I first got into makeup, it was like one of those colors that I went to all the time. But I hardly ever do purple. I think I'm gonna do purple. F it. I'm gonna do mother effing purple. Shoot. Someone said it's the history of Black American skate culture. So I am definitely going to. Oh, the name of the palette, it's just the Jackie Aina palette. It's Anastasia Beverly Hills. So if you put Jackie ABH, you'll be able to find it. And I'm pretty sure Sephora or whatever have it. And I love that it's holographic. And not only that, the colors are just effing bomb. I use this every time. Have I been watching Insecure? Ooh, child, have I? It ain't even all that for me to be all extra, but I got so many theories about that. Are we going to turn this into a crazy podcast? Not podcast, review. Why don't we? So Insecure, I have been watching Insecure. I actually attended a watch party for Insecure. Music of Tati, hey! So I'm going to summarize what she said. She was like, I'm going to make her get this palette because she's been wanting it for a while, but now seeing that she going to get it because she has no self-control. I struggle with self-control as well, and I'm not supporting consumerism, but I will say if you purchase this, you will get your money's worth because out of all the freaking palettes that I have, this is the one that I go to regular. It's almost like there's no other palettes that exist. So Mackenzie said Insecure has been upsetting them. Okay. Why has it been upsetting you? Because I would love to know this. So let's see, what can I first talk about with Insecure? This is the thing with Insecure. There's so much to talk about, even though the episodes are so, I don't know what it is about Insecure that has me warped, because Insecure will, someone say it's the only fully brown girl friendly palette. Buy it. That's exactly what it is. Oh, Molly's pissing you off. Molly pissed me off every damn season. And y'all, these comments, y'all are in my head. This is how my head works, and I think this is a part of anxiety, so maybe that's not healthy, but I do have a lot of things going on at once, but these comments are hilarious because it's also how my brain works. So Insecure, Molly. Molly, I think, has consistently been pissing me off for the past maybe 3 seasons. Are we on season 4? I think, yeah, we're on season 4. For the past 3 seasons, Homegirl has been pissing me off, and it's a shame because I love Molly so much, but I realize I love Molly because she's black. Duh. She's beautiful. Duh. She looks so much like Tony, and it reminds me of Girlfriends. And but she also has a lot of the things I don't like about Tony in her, which I wonder if they're doing that on purpose. I don't know. But she dresses good. She has great styles. She seemed like she was a go-getter, very career focused. She seemed like she was just the epitome of yes. But that's the problem with Molly, because she seems like she has it all together, and I feel like she almost represents that ideal of having it all together, but you're really so broken inside and there's so much going on that you become toxic to other people. Like it's a weird thing with, for the past 3 seasons I've been watching her, and I think I'm triggered because she seems very controlling to me, and whenever someone, or I have a friend that seems very controlling, it gives me maybe PTSD or something. I don't know what it is. Oh, I don't want to say that because that's a serious term, but what I mean, it gives me like a sense of I've been there before, I don't want this. So that's what I feel when I look at Molly, because I feel like everything she does comes out of control. Like even last season when Nathan came back to Issa and she had that whole go away from here, and she made the decision that Issa didn't need to see him and told him to go away, and then tell her until the end of the night, and it was like, I told that boy to step. And I'm like, bitch, not to call her that, but I was like, I wish a friend would. I think she is improving. Issa know better. I'm not saying Issa know better. And I might have to call Dwayne here because Dwayne, my husband, does not like Issa. And I'm like, I get it. She's not perfect, but I think I have more sympathy towards Issa and I'd be giving her passes. But with Molly, I feel like she controls, and she does it in a way where even if her advice is right, it's not your place. Like I have plenty of friends. I don't agree with your decisions. Dwayne. I don't know if y'all heard him. As soon as he hears anything Issa, he don't like it. Anyways, I have plenty of friends. I disagree with your decisions. I can give you advice. But the thing about it with Molly, I feel like she controls your decisions. Like she will make that decision for you. And that's it. That's it. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. And some of her things I don't think come from a pure place of really looking out for you, but almost like she likes knowing Issa doesn't have it all together, because weirdly, I think it makes her feel like she's not that bad. I may be reading too deep into it, but even when it was that situation with, I think Andrew's her new boo, the situation where she was saying something, they were going hiking, not the episode before last, and something she said, and Issa was like, you haven't talked to him or something like that. And then he called, Issa had gave her some type of kind of semi-advice or something, and he had called. And when Issa came back on the mountain, she was like, who was that? And she wouldn't even say it was him. Y'all, the palette is on sale. Alert, alert. Thank you for that PSA. The palette is on sale. Y'all, I don't encourage y'all to spend money. Y'all know I don't be doing that, but I will say, best money I ever spent. I'm just throwing it out there. Y'all do what y'all want with that. Anyways, so that's my tangent. I also have a whole tangent on Nathan, which Nathan's not even a factor, and I probably need to let him go, since anytime I try to bring this up with friends, they're like, bro, we're not trying to see Nathan no more. Nathan was an F-boy. I didn't feel like Nathan was an F-boy, and I think it's because I previously, in my pre-conformed life, I had Nathan tendencies, and I feel like people deserve chances to explain themselves. Yes, he made ghosts, and it's very selfish, and nobody has to deal with that. You need to work on yourself and figure out better ways to balance when your world gets out of control. But I think sometimes when you're in dark places or in places where everything's so overwhelming, weeks can go by and you don't even realize you haven't connected or communicated with people who you really value. But it's because you're literally in a warp. I could be projecting a lot of this onto Nathan, and that may not be the case, but I feel like Nathan, he was wrong for ghosting. It doesn't mean you're entitled to another chance, but I don't think it was an F-boy move where it was malicious or he was seeing other people or something like that. I really, truly think he had so much going on and was so overwhelmed, he didn't even realize what was happening until it was all over. Not saying homeboy has to come up, but let's go ahead and talk about Condola. How y'all feeling about this Condola situation? And it's funny because there's people dropping off and I'm like, y'all probably are like, don't even watch Insecure. Sorry, this is a lot of people watching in here. We can go back to books and some other topics, but I need to get this off my chest. How y'all feel about Condola? I'll just go ahead first. I will say Condola, up until last episode, I was team Condola as far as I really like her. I really think they should be friends. But even with Molly in this instance, this is what I'm talking about. Even when Molly was right as far as saying it seems messy, her delivery and the fact of the way she does it, it never seems it comes from a pure place. Your advice could be right, but your intentions are misplaced. It seems very self-serving. But anyways, Condola, I like her. But someone said, I like her, but I don't like her with Lawrence. Yeah, I don't think they should be together. I agree. Especially after this last episode. I was like, no. I can't even tell if she likes him. I'm like, do you actually like him or is he just F-buddy to you? Because it's cool if he is, but he needs to know that. But something about, this is so petty and ridiculous, but something about that freaking nun short set or whatever it was. I was like, why they did Condola like that? This is gonna be the episode where they show some her whatever, and they're gonna put her in the short set suit that just, that's so ridiculous for me to bring up, but it bothered me. But I will say that I definitely saw Lawrence going back to Issa, but I feel like Lawrence does it out of comfort and convenience. Like, I don't necessarily think they need to be together, but I think he doesn't want to start over. It's what's comfortable to him. So he just has that, might as well slide back in there. When they played The Case of the Ex at the end of the episode, I was like, oh my gosh, that was perfect song selection, by the way. Yeah. And then also, random, I also feel like, how do I say this? Like, I feel like with Lawrence, I think, oh, Lawrence is her rebound guy. I think with Lawrence, I see potential in him too, but I think like something about Lawrence, it just gives me vibes of just let that go. Also, like when Issa was sitting there at a cafe and was sitting there like telling her brother, wow, he never did that for me. And I know he paid. I was like, a cafe girl? I didn't know Issa was struggling that bad. Like, I knew she was with him for 5 years and homeboy was on the couch for most of them. But I had no idea it was that rough. I was actually one of those, which I still don't think she should have cheated on him. I don't think anything justifies cheating. If you want out, just get out. There's no need to do that. But what do I know? But I will say, ain't no way you over here impressed because he's taking some girl to a cafe. That broke my heart. I was like, oh my gosh, Issa, you was really out here struggling. Like, you 30 and you impressed that homeboy took you to the cafe. Now, maybe you in college, somebody taking you to a cafe, that's cute. You a 30-year-old woman and you was impressed because you saw him taking homegirl to a damn cafe. Order placed. Oh, you're behind on Insecure, but you don't care about spoilers. Jordan, no, don't say I made you put it in your budget, but you're going to thank me. Only when you get it and you like it, you can say that. But anyways, if y'all don't have anything else to say about Insecure, I'll stop because I'm clearly on a rant on that. But back to what we all have been watching. Because, I mean, I talked about books a little bit, about what I've been reading, and we can circle back to that. But what I have been watching, I've been watching a lot. So I actually, on Netflix, I have been watching, I watched All American, which was interesting because I didn't watch it live. I actually thoroughly enjoyed that show. I think I have a weird nostalgia thing with anything based in high school era, even though all those people were like 30 plus on that show. Those were some grown ass people playing as kids, which is always the case, but it was kind of disturbing to me how grown they were, because they also made them act grown. Like, those people were out there having houses, living on their own, ordering stuff at the bar. I was like, I don't know. But I really enjoyed the show. The show is like very, it's like almost like background music to me. It was very easy for me to watch and binge. I will say that, y'all, whoever said do the purple, I'm glad I did. You know, I've had this palette for a little bit, and I've actually never done the purple. This color is called Shookington. I've actually never done the purple on the lid. And I just decided to, since I'm out here, y'all out here making me live my best life. But yeah, so I watched that. I even watched Always a Bridesmaid. I watched some of the, you know, like the black films, because those give me nostalgia too. Like, I'm over there with my mom and sister watching them. I watched freaking A. Thank you for sending the positive vibrations my way. I'm sending them right back to you. Positivity. Dwayne. Sorry, y'all. Dwayne. What shows I've been watching on Netflix? What shows have I been watching on Netflix? Because I finished so many, I can't remember some of them. He keeps yelling Cooked. I've been watching Cooked Cooked with Cannabis. It's a cooking show. It's with Khalees, and it's good. And she basically has different chefs and different tasters, like celebrity tasters, who are tasting it, and it's like a cooking show with cannabis. I do love that show a lot. What's another show, Dwayne, while you being over here messy? Dwayne, come here. What's another show that I've been watching? I don't care. Come here. He said he not dressed appropriately. Y'all tell me what shows y'all been watching. I could tell y'all if I've been watching it too. What shows? You don't even have to be in it if you don't want. But what shows have I been watching?
I don't know.
Bruh, you do know you there. I mean, I feel like it's a blur. Oh, you know what I did watch? I watched the freaking, what was the
movie with the Always a Bridesmaid? You watched that?
I told him I watched Always Bridesmaids already. Oh, you know, what's the one that I be liking, the at night, whatever, Dark at Night? Earth at Night?
The planet or
something like that. Something at dark. It's really nice. Oh, Cooked with Cannabis is dope. Just started it. It is, isn't it? And it be making me so hungry. I be over there like, oh my gosh, I want to eat that. And Khalees is just bomb. Money Heist. Dwayne watches Money Heist. I tried to watch it a few times and I just couldn't get into it, but everybody loves that effing show. Hey, from Canada. Hey, what part of Canada? I got family out there, crib. But my family's like Quebec, Montreal. Uncorked. I did watch Uncorked. That was, for you guys who don't know, is about a sommelier. Dwayne out here about to leave. Dwayne, you should say your opinion on that. Which is funny because I really enjoyed Uncorked in the beginning, but the movie kind of fell off. But because it was so good in the beginning, I was like, I loved it, because it's about a black guy who's into wine and wants to become a sommelier, which is a story I never heard of. And it also had great, I think the visuals was really well done in collaboration with the music, and it has such high potential where towards the end of the story it kind of falls off, but it's still worth watching. Loved it. Oh, we watched the effing what was this that I didn't really care for? Not The Platform. But wait, we watched The Platform. What's The Platform about?
Like a psychological thriller. I don't know what it was. Anyway, The Platform.
Oh, we did. Now, I can't say all the stuff as to why, but I thought I dreamed that. That is so funny. Platform, I can't recommend if it was good or not. It was very interesting. It was a movie basically about capitalism is the greater sense, but it's really about a movie about you're trying to get on all these levels, and every month it shifts where you're on a different level of, like, you have all these layers of people. It was weird. Somebody said Platform was weird. It was weird. I did dig it though, in a weird way. I didn't think it was amazing, but I enjoyed it. You know, it was interesting. One thing I will say, if you guys haven't watched, what's the movie that, not movie, the series I love, Dark, right? It's just called Dark. Love Dark, especially if you guys like sci-fi. Y'all thank me now. Just thank me in advance and just say thank you, because Dark is one of the best series. Like, it's amazing and you're going to freaking love it. And yeah, it's hard to explain, but it's science fiction, but in a normal kind of way. And it's really good.
You watched Women of Troy?
Oh, I did watch Women of Troy. Women of Troy, really good. That's for my sports, basketball, people, story lovers. What else did you watch?
You watched They Gotta Have Us?
Oh, They Gotta Have Us. They Gotta Have Us. I would say that was good. That was more so, it gave me very, like, it was produced on BET in the sense of the music selection and stuff. But it's like about Black women entrepreneurs. I enjoyed that series.
No, it's not.
They Gotta Have Us?
No,
Yes, it was.
That she did that.
Oh, my bad.
But she also watched that.
She did that. He's right. What I said was about she did that. What's They Gotta Have Us? They Gotta Have Us was so good. Okay, so They Gotta Have Us, y'all have to watch that. So that is about Black film, like Black Hollywood. And it was just perfect.
Over time, like
throughout the years and the evolution, and also the different time periods, the different people who impacted. It was just, we both really enjoyed that. Abstract, love Abstract. Abstract is like different. It's a different series about different art stuff. I think I like a lot of the Black ones, but I also like the, oh no, the Instagram one was Black too. Cause I really like the costume design one. But it's like art, but beyond art, different artistic fields. I'm like the worst at describing stuff. How do you guys even understand my book reviews? Because I feel like I'm describing these shows the same way I do my book reviews. But it's like about, let's say you have an interest in, it talked about, okay, one of the episodes, for instance, was about Instagram and the logo and all that went behind designing that logo. But the show itself is artistically done, so it's very visually pleasing. I would definitely recommend Abstract. And for episodes, watch the episode on costumes. Ruth E. Carter, who, Black woman. She did so many different designs. It talks about her life, but also in an artistic way. She also had a crazy love of libraries. So that's just a random fun fact, but it was very artistically done. But yeah, those are my shows. I haven't really been seeing what y'all been watching though. Let me go ahead and click on here. Whoever styles Khalees is amazing. Yes, but I also think a lot of that is her styles. Like, I feel like her vibe is, I've been so inspired by her vibe, and I feel like so many people in the industry are inspired by Khalees. She doesn't really get her flowers, but if y'all like Rico Nasty, I feel like Rico Nasty is like a modern Khalees-ish in the sense of her style. Self-Made by the Madam C.J. Walker story. Y'all tell me how y'all felt about that. I watched it, but I think because it was very weirdly, like, it wasn't as accurate. It wasn't really accurate. I wish they would have not said it was this Madam C.J. Walker story. Like, and it was weird how they were pitting, and like, it was weird how they're pitting them against, I forget the lady's name now, Annie and whatever, because a lot of that stuff, it's just not true. And the colorism aspect, I think, is very important. But it's also interesting because it seemed like they wanted to focus on that. And they almost made it seem like a lot of the structures. Oh, Self-Made was terrible. It was such an erasure of important Black women. Yeah, it was. But I did finish the series. So something about it was engaging, but it's something that I couldn't recommend to people because I don't think it was accurate. And it's interesting because Madam C.J. Walker faced all this racism in her life and all these different barriers. And it's crazy to think a Black woman at this time was able to be self-made against all of the barriers and stuff that she had to come against for being a Black woman. But for some reason, it seemed like it didn't even tie in any of those elements of her having to overcome. It almost seemed like she had to overcome this other black woman. And I'm like, that's not even how it happened. She went to homegirl school. Like, if you look it up and you read about her story, it's like that lady helped, empowered her throughout it. It's just interesting. That's the direction that they took, and that's the revisionist history that they decide to revise, and the way they decide to revise it. Didn't care for that. But, you know, what am I going to say? Somebody put Acrimony. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about Acrimony. Acrimony was a movie that I watched a little bit ago, as in whenever it first came out. And that, I love Taraji. But, yeah. Tiffany said, I felt that it pandered to dark-skinned women by making the light-skinned woman the villain, which is interesting because colorism is a very serious, real issue. And it's an issue that does happen. And it is very accurate. It's just, it wasn't the Madam C.J. Walker story. Like, what she had to face was racism and being a woman. She didn't have to, and I'm sure she had to face aspects of colorism and stuff like that, but to get another prominent black woman figure that was important and that helped support somebody, and to turn that person into a villain to fulfill this colorism narrative that black women were pitted against each other, it's like taking a real topic that is real and does deserve highlighting and morphing that into this story by erasing all of the true issues and the true barriers. And there was another way where you could have had colorism, which was a part of the story, displayed, but also telling the full picture, versus I had to overcome this black woman to get to where I am. This light-skinned black woman is the one person who helped me go out, especially when neither one was actually light-skinned in real life. Oh, were they not? I don't even know, child. You know, how do you guys feel about, it's weird to talk about how you guys feel about colorism, but what are your thoughts around colorism, or even the casting, how we cast people? I have always struggled with that because I feel like colorism is clearly real. Everybody knows the lighter, that's just the more privileged you are in society. And that's a result of racism and, you know, systematic racism and all this other stuff dating way back all the way to current present day. And it's just things that are viewed as more Eurocentric, whether it's fairer skin, longer hair, even though that's not true, but straighter hair. You got a few hours? Yes, I do. Because I'm not getting anywhere with this, apparently. You know, pointier noses, things that are more Eurocentric are usually deemed more beautiful. We all know this, Eurocentric beauty standards. So it's interesting when people, and I will say I was one person who didn't feel, because I feel that I am, you know, a brown skinned person, not light skinned. I felt like I didn't really deal, hey, oh, she reads. I feel like I didn't really recognize or didn't really feel some of the oppression or some of the standards. I don't know how to explain it, but within my community, I didn't really feel like I got it, but I recognize that it's still a prevalent and real issue. And then it's also just interesting in the sense of way that some people feel the need to cast. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I have a weird relationship with even the light skin, dark skin, all the stuff when people say, well, she wasn't even light skin. And it's like, yeah, that person really wasn't even light skin, but it's just always, it seems like I always put light skin on this pedestal. I don't know how to explain it. And I think when you're brown, I think for me being brown skin, it's just an interesting situation that I feel like I've dealt with, because I've always had people try to put me in a certain category, and it's like, I'm brown, so I'm a brown black person. And it's like, some people, I don't know how to explain it, but some people will be like, you ain't light skinned. I'm like, when did I say I was light skinned? I never claimed that. I don't know. It's like weird. I'll have I don't want this to get on that topic, but it's just something that I have experienced throughout my life in a weird way. But that's besides, yeah, it's really besides the point. The whole point of this was, that was a horrible retelling. But yeah, I guess my experience with colorism is I have noticed firsthand certain things where people will try to tell you that it doesn't exist. Colorism doesn't exist when it clearly does exist. People will try to say that certain people, it's not because of their skin tone, it's just because they naturally look better, and they don't realize that, hello, what makes you think that that person naturally looks better? It's based on some type of standard. So recognize that. I will say that the older I got, and in the different circles that I've gotten into, I will say it probably is not as much of a prevalent issue, where I think the more educated, or the more, when I say educated on this topic, and also the more that you come into a reckoning of loving yourself, you will recognize it more. I'll talk about my history with not just colorism, but Eurocentric beauty standards, in the sense of, I didn't recognize some areas, like when it came to hair, for instance, because I think straight hair is beautiful, and I do think natural hair clearly is beautiful, and all this stuff is beautiful. Because I kind of saw all of it as just hair, I don't think I really realized the big disparities until I returned to natural hair. I think that's when I recognized it, because of some of the comments I was getting, a lot of the discouragement that I was getting to go natural, and all of the sayings. It was just an interesting thing, where even today, even when natural hair is more accepted, it's like the looser your hair texture, the more accepted that will be. So it's like it's almost evolved and changed. It hasn't been eradicated. So I get annoyed when people don't recognize it as still being an issue. I digress. But yeah, I'll even tell you, like, even from that, like, growing up as a kid, oh my God, you look so much like your mother. You're so pretty, except for your nose. And the way you say that, it's like, I know what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, when you Google natural hair, only certain types will be shown at the forefront. It is what it is, and it's just true. For someone to say that that's not true, it's just ridiculous. And I've had different people say, oh, I just love natural hair. And do you love natural hair? Or do you love certain kinds? I don't know. I'm not trying to, that's a topic for another day, and something I don't even feel like I'm equipped to fully articulate my thoughts around on a live. So I'm just going to go back to happier thoughts and back to what I've been reading in some of the stuff. What I do think is interesting is, and this isn't interesting, but in freaking Zora Neale Hurston hitting a straight lick with a crooked stick, she calls somebody an octoroon and mentioned the name octoroon. Now, I will say it's a term that I am not as familiar with, or was not as familiar with. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is a different day and age. That wasn't a term that I was used to, but I wonder if she's going to touch more on that throughout the book, like different stuff of that nature. But yeah, what else has been going on with y'all? We've talked about what I've been watching, and what y'all been watching. Y'all haven't, the documentaries, y'all seem like y'all was giving a lot of recommendations for, but y'all have any shows and stuff that y'all can recommend that y'all have been watching and enjoying? I'll be looking at the comments. Also, freaking A, I need to do my eyebrows so effing bad, but I kind of been liking that they've been so thick in a weird way. Like, they look crazy bushy, but in a weird way. I haven't seen my eyebrows in a long time. Like, I forgot exactly how thick they actually are. But I say all that, and I'm going to pluck some of the strays down here. I will say that's one good aspect that I feel like I have been enjoying during this time, is like I didn't really get my nails done all the time, but I do feel like I got them done like maybe at least once a month. And same with my eyebrows. I feel like I've been more comfortable just not doing upkeep. Although I love getting, pampering myself, taking care of myself, and going through those things, I will say that it has made me a little bit more comfortable not keeping up with some of those things. And I love doing makeup, because I feel like makeup is almost like art. Well, it is art. It's like my face is a canvas, and I can just paint on my face, and it's relaxing. And I don't really actually wear makeup out to work, because I just don't have the time before I go to work and stuff. But I haven't been, someone said there are movies, but 2019 and Sela and the Spades are Rex. What does that mean? I don't get it. Sela, is that a movie? Sela and the Spades are Rex. Is that a movie? Osha Reed says, this time has taken me back to my college years when I didn't have the money to do anything beauty related, so I did it all myself. Very true. Ozark is a good show as well. Just finished the latest season. You know, that's on my watch list. I'm going to actually do that because I have watched so much on Netflix. I think I'm kind of out. Oh, you've been watching Girlfriends. Girlfriends is a classic. What platform you been watching that on? Because I would love to. I don't know what platform shows that. But yeah, I feel like it's been interesting. Like I've always been a film buff. Like I've always loved movies, always have loved films, always have loved people's stories, always have loved, anything like that. So that's why I've always loved books and stuff. I like stories in general. But during the CW website. Okay, thank you. I'll check that out. But during this time, I have strayed away from books in a weird way because, they're two different movies. Thanks, Stardust did. Because I normally would read on my lunch break. I'm going to keep it funky with y'all. Your 1 hour lunch break, I'm that person that had to decompress and detox from interacting and talking to people all the time and all that stuff. So I would go out. There's like a lake outside. I would go out on my lunch break and read. And that was like my habit. Since being in, working remote, I have been blessed where I can, still do my job remotely. This will be a test to see if I can line my eyes while talking. I just hadn't been reading. So it's like I had to take that time to read. And I see Oshale was in here. I had talked in the beginning that about the quarantine pages, that I think it's so cool that you guys are doing. But it's so funny. I haven't participated or done it. And I haven't really found the mojo or the desire to read up until probably a few days ago when and I jacked that up so bad, but it doesn't really matter. Until a few days ago when I cracked open Hidden a Straight Lick. And the reason why I feel like I've jumped into that is I think the books that I was starting, there wasn't really a book that captivated me. You know how certain books you open them and it's like, oh, I can't put this down. That's what this did to me. And I think because I have Michelle, I didn't even know you were in here. Michelle, you've been devouring audiobooks? Yes. And it's so funny. I've been trying to play books while I work, but because I've been on so many conference calls, I can't do it. Like literally my day's full of conference calls, like back to back, like barely having a second to breathe. And I freaking wish I could find this thing. I found it. Sorry if y'all I hope I didn't expose anybody. Well, we'll see. Anyways, what was I trying to say? Yeah. And I feel like audiobooks, it's funny you say that because I looked up in audiobook, they have Hidden a Straight Lick with a Crooked Stick on audio. And you're absolutely right. I feel like that's what makes it also more enjoyable. Like in the forward, she was saying like, she thinks it's best when you're listening to this because you're hearing, the voices. Like Zora had a very specific, go ahead and go off and film. Enjoy your day. Get off and enjoy your day and go ahead. And I'm probably going to get off a little bit too because I'm almost done. Patsy, I've been hearing so much that people recently have been reading it and loving it. I'm definitely going to have to check if they have that on audio. Audio is amazing. Oh, really? I'm currently reading Patsy and it's so good. Hard to put down. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just add that to the list then. Not list. It's going to be the next one after I finish this for sure. But Zora, like, she is very serious, not serious, but she made a very distinct effort to capture the voices of Black people, specifically the rural South, and kind of avoiding, which I loved so eloquently put, avoiding the respectability politics of the time. At that time, it was definitely about the new Negro and about, combating a lot of the stereotypes that were brought on because of, minstrel shows and just some of the depictions of Black people. So wanting to do a polar opposite or anything different. But this, I don't know. hearing it on audio, it's a familiar voice. It really makes me feel, I really thought I was going to have a problem reading when this went down. It's been the exact opposite. You're shocked. Oh, okay. I love all the yes for the Patsy. I think I enjoy hearing those voices. I'm just one of those people. I think I love Black voices. Black voices, because we don't get that represented so much in art, I devour it when I hear it. And I know there's not one way, one Black voice. There's so many different variations. But what I mean is when I can tell it's authentic and true to whatever that Black experience is, it's like a crazy connection to me. I'm one of those people who in all things I do, I love all genres. I loved all film types, like even in film. I love all movies from action, romance, all this other stuff. And I love Black films that are predominantly Black as well. They're always in my repertoire. Like I always have, if you look at the amount of movies I own, which is well over 200, which is crazy. I don't purchase DVDs anymore, but I used to. I have so many movies in so many genres, from musicals, from all these different stuff. But the movies I find that I watch over and over are like Love Jones, or like those movies. Like I could state them like from memory. Like they're like embedded in me. There's something very pure about it, because it's probably like my first recollections of really seeing something or seeing myself within them or seeing something like it. So I don't know how to explain it, but that's how I feel also with books. But yeah, actually, do you guys, when we talk about Black films, do you guys have any of your favorite ones or favorite lines? The other day, like a week ago, was the 20th anniversary of Love and Basketball, which y'all on my channel, y'all know my relationship with Love and Basketball. It's a movie I own. I've watched it a million times. Me and my friends devour it. I've always hated Q and Monica's relationship, and felt like it was one of the most toxic things, and was like what I don't want in a boyfriend. But it's a classic film, and it talks about so much about like just being a woman in sports, or being a woman where conventionally, if you don't necessarily, which actually there's a podcast episode, if I find it, I'll comment it below. Jamel Hill had a great podcast on it, but at that time talking about like what it means to be a woman, and how if you don't fit a certain narrative of a woman, what is that like? Or talking about the certain struggles of even the upbringing of the WNBA. It talked on so many different levels, and it's just a classic movie with great lines. Like one of my favorite lines, of course, is Gabrielle Union. I ain't know Nike made dresses, or whatchamacallit. Oh, Queen and Slim is your new Love and Basketball? Really? It's so funny, because you know what? I liked Love and Basketball because Love and Basketball didn't have any trauma in it. It didn't have anything dark in it. It was like these people, they just living their life. They happen to be, like, not happen to be. Your clear Black is Black. You know it's Black. The culture is within it. But it's not trying to do anything, and it's just regular people just living their life. Like, yeah, there's certain references where you know it's Black because you're Black, or maybe you're not Black, but it gives you an insight to it. But it's really a story about just these young people who have a romance, but she also really loves sports, and she really loves basketball. It's Love and Basketball. That's why I like it, even though the relationship was trash. It ain't Spalding. Okay, I love that line too. Who you taking to the dance? Spalding. Oh, he also has a line where Q was like, which was ridiculous, when she stayed out, she wouldn't stay out past curfew because she had to start, and he expected her to, which was absolutely ridiculous and such a Negro thing to do. When I say that, I mean men. Such a man thing to do is to sit here and be like, why won't you sacrifice your life for this one night, when she wanted to talk to him later. Don't get me mad about this whole situation all over again. It was like, well, if basketball's all you care about, why you ain't Dick Vitale? Why you me for? I forget the line, but yeah, that's a good line. I also randomly love, they cussing they mamas out in Spain. Another good one is, me and my friends would kill this. It's not even a line. It's just Monica. During the basketball game. I love that scene. Another one is when Monica has the situation Oh, my favorite Black classic movie is Coming to America. Yes, I love, love, love in basketball though too. Yes, um, there's lines for days that. This is the last little scene I'll do. Second to last is the whatever. Ugh, she's a hoe. Why she gotta be a hoe though? She's a hoe because she's sending her coochie through the mail. I also love the when the Monica holds that thing, you can't really see it, but let me get down like this, and she has to do it all of practice. That's funny. I love that scene too. Love Jones. I will say my favorite lines from that. I only have two really main ones. One of them is hopefully everybody here is over 18, but one of them is in the car after she hearing those lines. Hilarious, such good lines. They are. Love Jones is when they're in the car, and it's right after she just hooked up with Lorenz Tay for the first time, or Darius. And she's sitting there, she's like, her friend's like, you didn't you? You ain't slicked. You them on the first date, and you wasn't even gonna tell anybody. And I think she goes like, oh, well, what was it good? How was it? I need to know the stuff. And she goes through all the stuff, and she's like, damn, girl. She's like, okay, now this is my favorite part. I just had to set it up for y'all. She was like, oh, somebody said, I love Excel, the Wood, Waiting to Excel, the Wood, Players Club, the Brothers, all that in my repertoire, all that. And she's like, okay, well, she's like, girl, it was like his dick sang to me. She's like, what did it say? Nina. Ooh. And her friend's like, damn. My little self as a kid, for some reason I love that movie, and now, not movie, but that line, and now I realize how inappropriate it was. I didn't even know if I really got what they were getting at, but I just knew whatever it was that she was experiencing was singing to her, and it was beautiful. Very inappropriate now I think about it, but I love that scene. I also like when he does the poetry thing. Of course, you know, the brother want to be the funk in yo whatever left eye. What wasn't it? Becoming the funk in yo right? I forget what it is. The poem for Nina. Anyways, on a tangent, but I love that scene. Okay, so y'all said The Wood. I actually need to rewatch The Wood. I think I have The Wood right here because I was planning on rewatching it. If I had my, oh Lord, I shouldn't get up like that. Hopefully there's nothing there. Let me stop getting up. That's my problem. I may not be able to save this. But yeah, I freaking love The Wood. The Wood is one of the classic movies. I also love The Best Man, of course. I even like the Best Man Holiday, whatever, when they did the revamp. I just love Black movies, y'all. But there's so many good lines from all these. It's like so much good stuff. Did any of y'all get into the other type of Black movies? Juice is one of my favorite movies, like with Tupac, and that also had Omar Epps in it. I freaking love that movie. I love the locker scene when he's like, you know, when you first called me crazy, I forget exactly what he said, but he was like, but you know what? You're right. I am crazy. I was like, oh my God. Oh, the singing peaker always has me rolling. Okay. They call me the brother to the night, trying to be the blues in your left thigh and the funk in your right. Is that all right? You right. That was how it goes. I was heavy into action movies during that time. I didn't see Love Jones until like 2004. I love Juice too. Okay, I got Juice fans in here. And you know, that's a good thing about these movies because they're actually classics. Like they're classics where you could watch them now, you could watch them years later, and they still feel good and they still make you laugh and they're just so good. And you know, Boys in the Hood is actually one of those where I like Boys in the Hood in a sense, but I feel like I only like it because it's like one of those things you're supposed to like. I know that sounds so conforming. I enjoyed it-ish, but it's not one of those where I will, like, if I have a choice to watch, I'm not going to watch it over and over. Now, Menace to Society, I will watch that ish. I've watched that ish. I don't know how many times, and I own that movie. Menace to Society was my Boys in the Hood. Like, I freaking watched that movie so many times. It's a horrible scene that I remember from that movie, but I remember if we're talking about scenes, the scene where, two things. The scene where one scene, but two things about that movie that I'm going to talk about. The scene where he was got that girl pregnant, and she calls him and she's like, Kane, I'm pregnant. And he's like, what the you telling me for? It ain't mine. I'm like, this Negro. But it's a scene that sticks with me. But I loved Old Dog, Lorenz Tate. That was one of my first crushes. I was like freaking in kindergarten having a crush on Old Dog with his little twist. My memory is trash. I love these movies, but I can never quote lines. That's why I love your book reviews. It's clear you have a good memory. Oh, you think I do? That is, am I emotional? That is one of the sweetest compliments. I really appreciate that. I don't know if I have a good memory, but I think certain things, when I have an experience with something, it like stays with me in a weird way. My favorite throw movie is the original Sparkle. Ooh, y'all gonna roast me. I've never seen the original Sparkle. I love the remake. I might need to see that. I have never seen that. Okay, Crooklyn, School Days, Do the Right Thing, She Gotta Have It. Y'all naming it. Yes, Menace to Society is a damn heart clencher. It sure is. I love both of them, but some of the scenes in both of them is traumatic as F. Yes, very traumatic. Definitely Menace to Society is super traumatic. You know what I think I love about Menace to Society? I loved in the beginning of that the movie how I just liked how it showed like the Watts projects. Like I can remember like I didn't know anything about the history of Watts or anything like that. And I remember when it started with that, it kind of gave me a sense of the riots, the evolutions, kind of a little bit of the, self-medicating with drugs. Katie Kane, and seeing growing up in that. Like it's a little bit too much, but yeah, when Menace to Society hit, I'm pretty sure, what was that? That was like early 90s, right? I'm thinking it was early 90s. If it was like 92, 93, then yeah. But I can't exactly remember, but I just know I was a kid and I shouldn't have been watching that. I'm about to Google what year that movie came out. Because we shouldn't have been watching that. It came out in 93, yeah. So it's funny. My mom, she was having us watch all that. So we was watching Waiting to Excel. We was watching all of that. Off topic, what eyelash primer was that? This is L'Oreal. It's so funny. I love this thing. I used to just put on mascara, but my mascara cannot, my eyelashes will not show. So in this, I'm not saying it does like it's gonna make them pop, but for my little eyelashes that never show, it does something where it makes it show a little bit more. Oh, I Am My Brother's Keeper. What is, New Jack City. Yes, New Jack City. That's another one. The Inkwell. Now, y'all done got me. Y'all pulling out my black card here. The Inkwell. I see that again. Y'all, I ain't never seen The Inkwell. Let me go ahead and put that on my list of things I need to watch so I can make sure. Black folk, no. New Fishburne hit it big when The Matrix came out. Who you telling? Who you telling? Oh my gosh. Now, ain't that the truth? That is so the truth. You know what's so funny? You know, my favorite Halle Berry movies are those beginning movies. And of course they are. But I'm glad, to see the progression. But losing Isaiah, freaking, I just went blank. Baps. Say What You Want. One year I got to be one of the people from, one of the girls from Baps. I loved Baps. Beautiful African Princess. What was it? Beautiful African Princesses. Is that what it stood for? I forget. But yes, I love that. You know what movie that I didn't care for, but I do like? And random, me and my friends had a pact that we were going to say this. I'm not going to give all the details, but it was like in Poetic Justice. Something where Tupac came up to her and all this whole thing. And it was like the first time he was coming up to Janet. And he was talking to her and she was like, she was like, want to smell my punani? And I'm like, punani? I had never heard that, really. As a kid, of course. And the other girl goes in his breath. And it's just a funny scene for me. Oh, somebody put, I love Baps till this day. Boomerang's another one. Y'all gonna judge me, but Booty Call, I love Booty Call. Okay, Booty Call, I always relate things to crushes, which is ridiculous, but Bill Bellamy, when I was younger, I thought Bill Bellamy was gorgeous. I was like, who is that? And Booty Call, these movies are just not appropriate for kids to be watching, but I love Booty Call. Scene from that one cracks me up every time. It was when his girlfriend comes and she's like, who was that? Or who's that who called? And he was like, oh, nothing. Just a big booty girl named Keisha I was banging last night. And it really was a big booty girl named Keisha that he was banging last night, but he said it like a joke. Cracks me up every time. I digress. Oh yeah, that's How to Be a Player. Thank you, Dwayne. How to Be a Player. Kidding. Booty Call was with Jamie Foxx. And who was the other dude? Davis. What's his name? What happened to that dude? That dude used to be in all the movies. What was his name? Tommy Davidson? Oh, is that his name? Okay. Bebe's Kid. Now, you ain't never lied. Bebe Kids, and y'all watch Bebe's Kids because it's on. It should still be on Netflix unless they took it off. Tommy Davidson, thank you. Bill Bellamy is still gorgeous. His lips never get chapped. Oh my freaking gosh. Musical Tati, you gotta have I don't know what you gotta have, but you're just so funny. I just freaking love you. He is fine. Yeah, Bebe's Kids. So y'all have to freaking How to Be a Player. I had no business watching that. I had no business watching How to Be a Player at all. It was so inappropriate, but perfect. I love that movie. And, he's actually in Love Jones too, even though in Love Jones, he plays that creep character. I think it's hilarious that he took her out in a hearse. That's just something tangent. But back to Bebe's Kids. Y'all watch Bebe's Kids as an adult. It was on that's one movie I don't own, but I loved as a kid, and it used to come on BET all the time. But watching as an adult, that movie was ahead of its effing time. It talked about so many social determinants of health and so many different topics, and it was just so well done. That movie is genius. Like, that movie is just freaking genius, and I just appreciate it so much more now that I'm an adult. When I was younger, I just liked it because it was Black and it was a cartoon and it was funny and all that stuff, but it talked about some real stuff in that little 1 hour, 20-minute, whatever film. But y'all, we done Coming to America, for some reason, the feeling that it gives me a little bit of a different feeling from the other Black movies that I think of. Bebe's Kids was a setup for Proud Family. You right about that. You ain't never lied about that. That, I see the relation there. For some reason, Coming to America gives me a feeling of I'm almost watching something that almost seems a little bit more, almost like with my parents. I don't know how to explain it, but even though I watched the other stuff with my parents, this really seemed like a family movie, like a different type of classic. Coming to America is just a crazy classic. I think also the budget's just extremely probably bigger, but so many moves from that one, lines from that. Dwayne actually does a lot of good lines from that movie. So How Stella Got Her Groove Back. We didn't talk about that. That was another one that I watched all the time, even all the way through college. I still would watch it. I brought all my DVDs with me to college. Me and my friends would have sleepovers, slumber parties. We just watched that all the time. Unpopular opinion, because we were talking about Bill Bellamy, and I was saying how I thought he was so fine. Someone I never thought was fine, but everybody did, was Taye Diggs. Am I the one who missed out on that? Like, did we really collectively think Taye Diggs was fine? I don't know if it was just me, because now Morris Chestnut, clearly I was like, that's what my future husband is going to look like. I'm sure every Black girl probably thought that, or would say that at some point. But Taye Diggs, I never got that vibe. I don't know what it was. And his characters I never really enjoyed him. In Best Man, I was like, you creep. Brown Sugar, didn't think he treated I just didn't like his personas in a lot of the movies. How Stella Got Your Groove Back, I was just like, you don't even seem like you're really a 20-something. Angela Bassett could do way better. Anyways, I digress. Soul Food was another one. I was way too young to be watching Stella. Way too young, I know. Taye Diggs was never my cup of tea. Thank you for co-signing. Not that it mattered, but it does. Okay, I had a thing for Taye. I agree. Never Taye Diggs. Yeah, I don't know what that was about, but I think I just knew he was supposed to be that it person, but it was like, no, for me, it was definitely, whatchamacallit, O-Dog. I'm going to say O-Dog. Darius, Lorenz Tay. Dead Presidents. We didn't talk about Dead Presidents. Now, Dead Presidents, that ish was my ish. And it talked about him coming back from the war. That was a production. Now, that movie's really good. What are you currently reading? I know I talked about that earlier. We on film. We talking about films, but I'm currently reading "Hidden a Straight Lick with a Crooked Stick." Highly recommend it. It's a series of short stories. Really good. The other movie, Set It Off. I can't believe we ain't talk about Set It Off. But one of my favorite things, even when I went paintballing not too long ago. Actually, it was probably a few years now. But when I shot up the paintballing, we joked because I apparently was really aggressive in it. But me and my friends joked that my other friend looked like Queen Latifah when she was getting shot up. Anyways, Set It Off. That was a really good movie. Someone said they recently watched Dead Presidents all the way through and loved it. I know that's one of those movies that I don't think gets as much love. You know what I realize is guys, and I'm clearly, this is a very broad and general, you shouldn't generalize this, but a lot of guys, I will say, from college and just knowing and all that stuff, they always love Belly. I like Belly too, but the way they loved Belly was probably the way I loved freaking Love Jones and Menace to Society and Juice. Did anybody watch Prison Song with Mary and Q-Tip? I did watch Prison Song. I think that was actually one of the ones that they would randomly show also on BET. They used to show Prison Song a lot on BET. And what was the movie with Megan Good? It was like, oh, freaking A. They would always show it all the time. They would show Jason's Lyric, Prison Song, Baby Boy, which I like Baby Boy. Baby Boy is so funny. Ooh. So this was a good one. Someone said, what about black music biopics or biopics, whatever? Jackson's Temptations, Clark Sisters, etc. So did y'all watch the Clark Sisters? I actually thought they did a really good job with that. The Clark Sisters, I thought it was great. I learned a lot of stuff because I didn't really know all that about the Clark Sisters. I didn't even know that they had broke up or certain people had went off. I didn't even know about the other sister. Learning more about Dorinda and seeing how much she actually wrote for him. I didn't realize how much of a prominent person she was in there. Twinkie, thank you. About Twinkie coming off. You know what I did? One of my favorites. I think they did such a good job with the New Edition story on BET. I was like, to me, the Temptations, I always felt was always going to be like up here. Like there wasn't really going to be something that gave me that. I think the New Edition story will stand the test of time because the music, I get goosebumps thinking about the music was so perfect. And I also think it was something where we didn't know all that was going on with that group. Social media and stuff wasn't out. And honestly, I didn't really know much about this. Gonna be ridiculous. I didn't really know too much about New Edition besides If It Isn't Love, like the throwback songs. So hearing all the elements and even hearing about Ralph and realizing that Ralph was really a prominent and was really like the face of it, because I grew up thinking Bobby and seeing, I think great biopics like that show the complexity of all the characters and have great music. Like the music and dancing was amazing. Like the fact that they hit it, like when they hit that, I can't even do it. I was like, all that in the even outside that, the Can You Stand the Rain, having the Boys to Men element in there, showing the poison, all that. I'm going on a tangent. They did so good. But let me catch up as I was talking to y'all. The Josephine Baker story stayed on beat. It did. Jason's Lyric, all about young Jada Pinkett. Yeah. Dudes love Belly hard. Y'all are hilarious. They do. I do wish the Clark Sisters movie was longer. I do feel like towards the end, it was a weird way to wrap it up. But I think it was interesting because even looking at the mother, which I knew nothing about the mother, that lady, she could act the hell out of somebody, because I watched some old YouTube clips. She had the persona down. Of course, costume's not up to her, but even her mannerisms, the way she carried herself, all that, she nailed that character. When you look back to see it. Jackson's is a classic. Jackson's is one of those I'll watch a million times, and everybody with the like that was just, it was a lot. And also An American Dream. I don't know that. What is An American Dream? Oh, that's the full name of the Jacksons, duh. For some reason, because the comma's there, I was thinking a different movie. New Edition story was so good. Had me and my mom dancing in the living room. That was, yes, I was dancing in the living room as well. I felt like it was a crazy musical. Like it was almost a musical because the production was so good. Also the Bobby elements, like all the music videos, all the stuff that they did to see, like when you watch it, you realize that they were so accurate and on point, from costume designs, from the choreography that was done, the music, the sounds, the fact that they could really sing. It's just amazing. Salinas, I know we said black, but Salinas, that was my movie. I love it when they're like, Salinas. Anyways, but that, I cry at the end of that movie every time. And also, I think it was just really good. Like, mini, 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 bump, bump. Which artist biopic would you like to see next? Of course, I would like to see Aaliyah, but they already did that and did it trash. Talk about colorism in that. That was ridiculous that they even casted who they casted, but that's not even the point. The point is the fact that they couldn't even use the music. Bruh, you can't have a story about an artist and you can't use the music. Just don't do the story. Like, I wish they freaking could do that over and do it justice. That would bring me a lot of happiness, because Aaliyah was just like, you know, that was just whatever. I see that that Kelly Rowland is going to be doing Donna Summers on Lifetime, so I'm looking forward to that because clearly, I mean, she looks almost identical to her, so who else could do it? And she can sing. I love it when the character who's playing the person actually can sing and can record the stuff so well. Oh, someone said I can quote the movie Selena from the top to bottom, one of my favorites. What's one of your favorite parts of Selena? Like, what's one of your favorite movies from quotes or something from that? Joseph Jackson, you a liar and you a cheat. Oh my God, you guys are hilarious. I'll never do anything to hurt you. Y'all are so funny. You know, we didn't talk about the 5 Heartbeats. Even though it's not real, I will allow it because the 5 Heartbeats is that epic where it became a real group to me. That's how good that freaking series is. Now, the 5 Heartbeats might be one of my favorite movies, period. I can't believe we didn't talk about that earlier. But the 5 Heartbeats has so many lines, and just not only that, so much nostalgia. The music was so good. Everything about that movie is just perfect, and it's one of those things I could watch over and over. Oh, you know, we didn't talk about, I feel like this is probably not going to hit as much for you guys, but we didn't, Dreamgirls, y'all. Jimmy got soul. Wait, Jimmy got soul. Jimmy got soul. Jimmy got soul. Wait, Jimmy want a piece of your chocolate cake. I forget exactly how it goes, but yes, I loved that freaking movie. That movie, Dreamgirls, they did such a good job. All of that stuff. Bought me a Cadillac, Cadillac, Cadillac. Bought me a Cadillac car. Look at me, I'm a star. I can't even do it, but when they gentrified the Cadillac song, I was like, I cannot. Such good music in that freaking stuff. The 5 Heartbeats is the Temptations movie before anyone is allowed to do the Temptations. That is very true. And y'all know, I don't think it's still on YouTube, but me and my friends had did a thing for Dreamgirls. We did the We're Your Dream Girls, Dream Girls. We did a whole little video thing. Now that had very a lot of good lines too. Jimmy, you were supposed to love me. I forget all the stuff. I'm going all off on the whole thing. I used to bust out with Jimmy's rap in choir rehearsal in church. I can't. It was bad. I'm telling you, I'm not going. I am telling you. Y'all don't want to hear me sing out here. But yeah, I freaking loved it. And it was so funny to me because y'all know I rise or dies for Beyonce. But it's funny because they really were trying to make Listen like that. I am telling you, you know, when she had that moment, it was a really powerful, good song, but it wasn't I am telling you. When you was in the theater and that came on, whoo, goosebumps. Ooh, somebody said Tina Turner. Yes, What Love's Got to Do with It. Now, that's a classic movie. We all love that. Yum Ray Hoshi, I forget the thing, but that's so probably inappropriate. But that's what she would do in the thing. And I remember as a kid doing the Yum Ray Hoshi, whatever it was. She would keep saying over and over the chanting. That's what I first came to my head. Tina Turner, if you If you do after him, I will disband the group. There will be no Selena eat the os. The scene where her dad anchors on the, oh, for real. I loved, what's the bustier? Whatever, when she had the bustier, she was trying to, I can't really remember the whole thing, but it was when she first had the bustier and her mom had the design thing to get it for her. Man, her dad was controlling. Let me see, what do you say? Oh, it was a Christmas, I seen Christmas, eat the cake anime. Oh, that's just a classic. That's a classic line, unfortunately. Angel Body seemed clutch since she did Tina. Yes. Oh, the costume changes in Selena's was perfect. I still remember the rotunda of that glitter burgundy jumpsuit, bare bottom crop top thingy, and the rotund on the booty. I can see it so visually in my head. That outfit was on point. That's a bra. I think it's cute. Her dad didn't play. Yeah, I know, right? What's a bustier? But anyways, we could go on and on and on. Lord, I can't believe I've been talking to y'all so long. Oh, this was so much goodness for my soul. I have to figure out, though, Beloved. Okay, we're going to talk about the books made to movies. And then let me go ahead and make sure I actually finish my makeup. Y'all got me so into this conversation, I stopped doing my makeup. That's how much y'all really had me. I still have to do blush, highlighter, and lips. Okay, I'm almost done. Y'all don't judge me. It's okay. The color purple. Yes. Now, the color purple, that was perfect. Okay. Ew, me drinking the color purple after hearing that and then drinking this, it makes me think of that scene when she's spitting the lemonade. Anyways, that's besides the point. But what was that? Oh, the kiss? What's wrong with the kiss? The kiss, I mean, Whoopi was a little weird with the kiss, but why don't you come in here? Dwayne's out here. Y'all can't hear him, but Dwayne's out here yelling and commenting, trying to be on this live, but he don't want to be on the live. Dwayne, come here. I'm going to DM you on IG because you missed a good webinar today. Really? Did I? Okay. So the color purple. Dwayne, come here real quick. What was you saying? Because I think, huh? Okay, so books turn into movies. Now for Beloved. Beloved, I love Beloved. So someone said, how about Roots, new and old? I don't think we watched the new one. I think I might have tried to start, but I couldn't really get into it. Now Roots, the old one, I mean, I enjoyed it as a kid and stuff. I don't know if I would watch it again, but I think it was mainly the Kunta Kinte, that scene when he kept saying, Kunta, and they wanted him to say Tom. That was the first thing that came to my mind when you said, asked about the movie. I will say that for books turned into movies, I will say I thought Their Eyes Were Watching God, since we talked about Zora Neale Hurston. I will say that when I read Their Eyes Were Watching God, that was a book, y'all gonna roast me. That was a book I just couldn't connect with when I read it. For the first time, I tried to read it so many times throughout childhood, and I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get the themes. I couldn't get the stuff. When he was talking about freaking the TK got freaking rabies, I was like, who's getting rabies? Like, this doesn't even make sense. Is this a human? Like, it was just a weird thing for me as a kid to try to read that book. So anyways, when the movie came out, it connected all the dots for me. And I was like, wow, this is really about like a woman. You know, I got the whole she's divorced and all this stuff and how the town is treating her and all this stuff. But I don't think the themes connected to me when I was reading the book. But I will say that was a movie, even though it was actually with Halle Berry and it was an Oprah Winfrey production and Michael Ealy. Michael Ealy made a great tea cake. Michael Ealy was even fine with rabies. Like when he was out there and doing all that, I was like, now they know Michael Ealy's still looking good, right? Anyways, let me stop joking. But on a serious note, that was actually a book to movie adaptation that I really loved. I thought they did a really good job. And now that I'm older, I can appreciate the themes from... I loved the movie Their Eyes Were Watching God. Me too. It's interesting because now I appreciate the book more afterwards and reading it and all that other stuff. But I will say that was like my first introduction to seeing how a book could be, the movie could really bring out a book and make it better. I do think that Beloved, the movie, I like Beloved reading Beloved more. I felt Beloved reading it more was more, it captured more of the elements of the haunting. But I thought Tandy Newton did a great job in Beloved of becoming beloved and making that really tangible. But it's a weird thing. I almost see them separately. But I loved Toni Morrison's Beloved, the book, more. I don't know how to explain that. And let me catch up on what you're saying. I really like the new roots. Did you? So maybe I needed to do it. Yes, girl. Oh, did a webinar. So, I saw that they were discussing Parables of Sower, and I was just so not I saw it and I was like, okay, I just wasn't engaged. I'm gonna have to look at it if it was good, because y'all know I loved Parable of the Sower, and I actually read Parable of the Talents, which I might as well update y'all on that. Loved it. I will say I loved Parable of the Sower more, but it was a very great sequel, and it really tied in a lot of the themes, and you get closure and you know what happened, and it was an amazing sequel. Still, if you only have to read one of them, Parable of the Sower. Loved that freaking book more than I can even imagine. How do I feel about the movie adaptation of The Help? Interestingly enough, I am one of those people who never read The Help. I never read the book. I watched the movie and it didn't stick out to me. I remember feeling like I just support anything, because Queen Latifah's in that, right? I think I support anything with Queen Latifah. So I have no opinions on that at all. Hey, y'all. Oh, hey, Onyx, Pages, hey, Injiri. Happy belated birthday. If you guys haven't, y'all should watch the replay of the live from yesterday. Okay, and Michael Ealy made a beautiful, Michael Ealy. Okay, Think Like a Man was a great movie adaptation. That's so funny. That is funny. Well, I know it wasn't said like a joke, but what I mean by that is, I will say Steve Harvey bothers me for a lot of reasons. I did read Think Like a Man. He's laughing at me. But that movie to me was so ridiculous. I mean, not movie, the book was so ridiculous. Like his advice. I'm like, why would you ever take, not why would you, but like me, I'm like, why would I ever take relationship advice from you, Steve Harvey? No offense, but all offense intended. But the movie was very entertaining. Lots of great eye candy as well. I also just, you know what? There was a Regina Hall appreciation. This is a tangent. Regina Hall appreciation that was going on Twitter. And thinking of all the movies, even from Scary Movie and all the stuff that she was in, Regina Hall is just amazing. She's so amazing. And thinking of freaking The Best Man, and even like Candy. I love Regina Hall. The Help did not help me. I cannot. Thank you. Oh my gosh. You are ridiculous, for real. Did you cry? I loved Sower more because the opening voice of Talents made me mad. Like, how you gonna talk shit about Lauren? For real. How are you gonna talk shit about Lauren? Put some respect on Lauren's name. I think that has something to do with it also. I think it's because I'm like, you don't even understand life, young blood. You don't even know what your mama went through. But let me not go into that. But Parable of the Sower was just so, to me, any of y'all watch Walking Dead? I was a big Walking Dead fan. I stopped once they got into the Negan stuff. Anyways, that's besides the point. Walking Dead to me was almost the perfect series. But when I read, even though it's completely different in a certain sense, when I read Parable of the Sower, it gave me a lot of the vibes of what you could do with a community, how you could build a community, and all those themes that came across. And I was like, they need to make this into a series, because this is perfect. It's perfect. Like, I think Parable of the Sower was perfect for me, and Parable of the Talents was amazing. Like a great book, but Sower was like the first perfect book that I read, like where I don't think I've ever read something where I was like, it was perfect. Like there's not one thing I would change about it. That was Sower for me. Okay. I didn't read or watch The Help. Queen played in the Bees movie. Thank you. How you knew what I was thinking about? Secret Lives of Bees. That's what Queen Latifah played in. Y'all gotta help me, because I sure enough didn't even know that in my head. But I love how you knew exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah, I didn't watch The Help either then. That was the one I did. I heard Dwayne. I'm laughing too. I can't with y'all. What about the hate you give? Y'all don't play with me on this timeline today. Tiffany, you being messy today. Y'all know darn on well my feelings on the hate you give. I don't hate the hate you give. I don't think it was for me, meaning I don't think I was the intended audience for that book. I finished the book. I don't finish books if I don't like them or like some aspect. It definitely had me engaged, but I was very annoyed with some of the things that were brought in where I felt like some of the editing or some of the stuff that was brought in it was to appease certain audiences. So that's why it's a little weird for me sometimes. Viola and Octavia played in The Help. Oh, not sure if you read the book Knots and Crosses by Mallory Blackman. No, I haven't. What is that about? In The Help. Amen. Yes. No zombies. Oh yeah, you said don't compare. I'm trying to tell you, Musical Tati, the reason why I said it gives me similar vibes, I feel like Walking Dead tried to take elements of building communities and the psychology behind people, and when you have these different catastrophic events in life, and kind of like when everything shuts down and there is no communication there's not a way for you to communicate with other ways. There's no flights going out. It's a lot of our modern day stuff that are being taken out. Walking Dead gives you that feeling of trying to build over and start a new community. That's what I meant by the parable of the sower. I feel like that would be the reason why I loved Walking Dead, was for those elements, and Parable of the Sower was a million times more complex and beautiful than that. But what I meant by that is I would love to see a series adaptation, because it would do everything The Walking Dead couldn't. The Walking Dead stories made me get into sci-fi. Oh, that makes me so happy. Okay, sorry. People said Thug was written for whites. I love how I just read whites naturally. The YTS, that just shows. Anyways, people said, I would say you could read it for yourself if you want, but I don't think it's something you have to read. I think it's something for other people to read, and I'm always rooting for Angie Thomas. And I actually think On the Come Up, for me, On the Come Up was something I thoroughly enjoyed, and I appreciated and enjoyed, and I felt like it was more geared towards accuracy, where Thug felt like it was kind of for whites, and I felt like it made white people be like, "Aw, you guys go through so much. I feel so much better that I'm an ally for you guys." That's the vibe I got. Don't quote me on that, but it just makes me didn't sit well with my spirit as much. I watched a YouTuber last night talk about Kindred, and it sounds hella good. It is hella good. It's hella amazing. I haven't read it and won't, but it has been contrasted with Riot Baby, which was for us, by us. FUBU. Kindred, a must read. Riot Baby was so good. I have Riot Baby, not right here, but I checked it out. Haven't read it. Need to. It could have been much longer. Left on Red, tell us about your makeup look. What's the look? Your curls are cute. Look cute. I can't. He's so sweet. So the makeup look, we was doing it together, technically. And everybody helped me pick out purple, because I never do purple on my lids. And it's really Jackie Aina's palette, which I'm obsessed with and love everything about. And it's the best brown girl friendly palette ever. And it's holographic. Who doesn't like that? But it's something that I just reach for all the time. And the colors are gorgeous. And Musical Tati bought it while we were on live. So I can't wait to get the review if that's really that it's really as good. Woo, thank you for that cosign. Definitely going to look into that. Okay, Musical Tati. Y'all probably are so weirded out with me catching up and reading, but I really would be wanting to know what y'all saying. Musical Tati. Okay, I totally understand that, but I will never volunteer to watch a zombie show. LOL. I think there is a series adaptation in the work for Sower. Ooh. And really, I love zombies. I'm like one of those people who just like zombies or zombie films, even if I know it's corny. But you know what I didn't like? Not World War Z. Was it? Dwayne, what's the movie I hate that I always talk about that I hate that was so boring? 28 Days Later. Thank you. Hate that movie. That movie is one of the most boring, worst zombie adaptation movies ever. Have you read Watch Us Rise? No, I haven't. What is that about? I've never heard of that. Ever. I would love to hear about it. But yeah, we was talking about sci-fi. So y'all sci-fi lovers in here, y'all gotta watch Dark on Netflix. Y'all thank me later. It's not about zombies, but it's about everything good, and it's just so good. Anybody in here watch Dark? Please, somebody tell me y'all watch Dark. Homegoing by y'all. Oh, you think it should be a movie? I feel like they would F that thing up. That movie, that book was so good. And so many parts of those, that was just brilliantly done. You know, we all fangirl over that movie. movie over that book. But I freaking loved that it took me maybe 3 or 4 stories within it to realize that, oh, this is a generational thing. And then I was even more blown away, because at first I was really reading like individual short stories and getting so mad that I didn't know how the story finished for each of them, which tells you that it's good writing. When I love short stories, when you get at the end of it and you're so immersed into that character, with the character or the story within a short time frame, where when you get to the end of it, you're like on the end and you really just want to keep on with that. To me, that means you did an amazing job, that you captivated me and had me so invested in the short time frame that you had for my attention span. I say all that to say Homegoing was amazing because I was doing that. And then when I realized that y'all is a generational thing, I was like, how are you this brilliant? Why didn't I think of something like this? Oh, y'all said Beast of the Southern Wild. Y'all getting a little bit oh, Beast of the Southern Wild. Why did I think y'all gonna hate me? I was thinking of Beast of No Nations, which is a completely different direction. Beast of the Southern Wild, I wish I had seen the movie adaptation. That's one of those I never seen, and it's never on like Amazon or any Prime or anything like that, and I need to watch it. It's one of those that I miss. Now, Beast of No Nations, very traumatic for me. I think it's important, very traumatic. Look, zombies and brain dead, why they still hungry? At some point, food should not be a necessity. And they ain't like vamps. They can't eat. Leave a human alive. Yeah, I know they should. But at the same time, that's what's so funny, because there's so many parallels that you could do with zombies. Like, okay, if y'all ever read Friday Black, Nana Kwame Adjei, read it. Amazing. So that is a short story collection that you can't really quantify because it's dystopian and it's sci-fi and it's a lot of stuff. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite reads in the last like 5 years or something. He has a series where he does a play on zombies, where it's like the title, I think it's the title story, the Friday Black, when it's like Black Friday and it's like these zombies, but consumerism, but we're the zombies and we're all like, they're just like, buying stuff and like trying to get the sales and toppling people over and all this other stuff. So I think there's a lot of creative ways that you can do interesting things with zombies. Don't write zombies off. Yeah, Friday Black. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Look, when I don't know, I'm still here. When I don't know, I'm still here. I don't want to be killing humans to stay animated. Put me down. I think, oh, so good. Yes, Friday Black. Love it. Friday Black is fire. Friday Black is amazing. Okay, so you do like zombies, because there was a zombie story in there, Tati. I'm sure you like that. Did you? Look at me trying to force that on you. Yeah, what was y'all favorite story within, or what was one that stayed with y'all from Friday Black? That would be a good topic. Musical Tati, I love your strong views on things. I love it too. I love it so much. I just love, you know what? I love all of y'all, but I love Zimmerland. Y'all tripping hard. You just gonna hit it heavy. That was a good book. Oh my God. That was a crazy book. It was crazy, and they did such a good job with Zimmerland as far as riding the rides and the whole concept of Zimmerland. Yo, yes, that's all you could really say. Really, that's all that needs to be said. But the concepts, that's what, when I read books and I'm like, how is this person so brilliant? Like, that's how I felt when I was reading Friday Black, because all of the concepts were so brilliant that were done, and the way you did this into these creative stories, it's like, what type of brain do you have? I think I'm pretty smart. Like, I have a pretty strong sense of, you are a smart person. You are very creative, and your mind thinks really well. That probably wasn't a good argument to say this, but when I read stuff like that, I'm like, I could never think of something like this. Like, it's one of those things where it just pulls you into a realm where I'm just so glad you wrote this, because I needed this and I never thought of things done in that way. What was the book, the short story in there about whatever the F it was? It was freaking like the kid. He was like, this is so horrible, but it was like, he was like, okay, it was like a school system situation, and the kid was like slow. He wasn't slow, but because he needed more medicine to, I guess, stay alert or do certain things. And in the classroom, he had a trouble. He could never read as fast or do certain things as fast, whatever that short story was. And by the end of it, he basically became like a drugged out, happy person. I don't know if I really understood the meaning of that story, but I really enjoyed that short story within Friday Black. It's something that stayed with me. Oh, you know what, music Tati, I'm not dealing with you. She said they were only zombies for a day, so it was okay. I can't with you. After the Flash, that story is still with me. What was After the Flash about? I forget what that one was. Lark Street. Yes, After the Flash. Y'all all remember After the Flash? What was that one about? The one with the babies. Was that Lark Street? Oh, are y'all talking about the babies, like the fetuses? That was a funny one to me, even though it's not a funny topic. But that one had me rolling. I still remember, like, because they made in my head, it's like the fetuses had little baby voices. So reading it was just so comical to me. And something he was like, he would kick him in the nuts, but his nuts wasn't formed or something because he's a fetus. I forget what it was, but certain lines in that were hilarious to me. I think it was the era. But y'all, tell me what the freaking After the Flash was about. I don't remember that at all. And that could be, I'm going to give y'all tell me about that. And I'm going to give y'all one more topic that we're going to close out here because my makeup's almost done. And y'all got me in such good spirits and high spirits that I am going to record this quarantine wrap up video thing of what I've been reading in the past 2-3 months. And I'm going to shout all of y'all out because y'all gave me all this good energy to fill back or get back into filming. I'm so happy right now. Oh, that's one thing that I wanted to say. So, and Jerry said she loves how passionate Tati is on certain things or how strong the views. I will say I love how I can feel all of y'all energy. It's weird, Tati, because I never met you in real life, but I feel like I feel your energy. I feel like your sense of humor is just so relatable and refreshing and good, and that you just, it's always just good, like a good feeling or a good belly laugh with you. Like I just love that and keep it real. I don't know. I love that about you. But I saw y'all wrote The Flash. Let me actually do this. I've been debating about getting Friday Black. Y'all might have convinced me. I will say, yes, I think you should get it. But I will say that I don't know if everybody would love Friday Black. It's very interesting to me because I would say that I compare it to Black Mirror's The Show, which I don't think a lot of people probably, maybe some of y'all watch Black Mirror's, but I think I talked about this in last time. A lot of people didn't watch it, but I will say that it is very, if you like dystopians and you like science fiction, I think you're going to like it. Like, I couldn't see you not liking it, but I think if you don't care for dystopians, you may not. Even though, what was so science fiction about Friday Black? Let me think about that. Because why are we Why am I classifying that within science fiction? I have to ask myself that, because what about it makes me say science fiction? Dwayne just yelled at me. I don't say the F word. I don't have a problem hearing it, though. He said, it's a fucking fetus talking. That's what he just yelled at me. That's why it's science fiction. Thanks, Dwayne. You so right. That's why it's science fiction. That's not normal. Fetuses don't talk. Duh. Yeah, so that's why it's science fiction. Okay. Black Mirror. Oh my gosh. And Yuri watches Black Mirror. Okay, so I am not alone. So, okay, oh my God. I can't wait to read all this because y'all be... Oh, After the Flash is about the nuclear event when the neighborhood town lives the same day over and over, but they remember, oh yeah, that too. Okay. And pure magic. Oh, in my spiritual tradition, we consider humor to be a form of medicine. Humor is a form of medicine. That is the most truth. Like, even, I will say this, even laughing and talking with you all was a form of medicine for me today. Like, I feel energized and good and ready to record and feel like I'm just going to have more lightness within me. Thanks, y'all. That means so much. People didn't get me for years. Oh my gosh. Tati, what sign are you? What's your zodiac sign? Or if you don't know, what month were you born? Onyx Pages, Black Mirror. Yes. I love that you love Black Mirror. So It's speculative near future fiction, not science fiction. Ooh, Dwayne and Jerry said it ain't science fiction. It's speculative near future. Let me stop messing with him. Dwayne has no chill. He really don't. He has no chill, no respect, none of that. He has all of it. I'm just kidding. But he's ratchet. Y'all want to know what Dwayne said? When he was like, what you reading? I was like, hitting a straight lick with a crooked stick. He said, that sounds black as fuck. I was like, you know what? It is black as F. That was the perfect description. But Black Mirror is my ish. I can't wait for there to be a new season. I've been putting on the same lip liner and haven't sharpened it and think there's going to be product that comes out. But that's the vibes. I hate comparing things, but that, I think if you like Black Mirrors, you will like Friday Black because it has that same element. Like it has that same feel of imagining futures based on current societies, which is dystopian. Like, yeah. I love it. LL Taurus. Oh, you're a Taurus? Telsey, I would have never known you were a Taurus. I would have never. So you have a birthday coming up. Well, happy early birthday if I missed it. I'm not sure. Are we already in? Yeah, we're already in Taurus time. So wait, and Jerry, you're a Taurus too then. I came late to your live, so I guess I missed all of this, but you're a Taurus as well. I would have never guessed y'all were Tauruses. I don't know what I mean by that, but I just wouldn't have because my brother's a Taurus. That's why. And I guess you can't generalize. It's not going to be accurate 100% what you have in your head. I was talking about the short story Friday Black, not the whole collection. There are some stories that were sci-fi. Oh, okay. Okay. I guess it's okay. You called it science fiction, Dwayne. I'm kidding. I'm glad you went live. Us having community has made me feel great as well. Glad to see you're back. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad. This live was magic. Oh, thank you. And I was saying, and Jerry came later, but I was talking about how I've been staying off of BookTube, but that having come to the lives, like first participating in when the one that Rachel moderated was my first that forced me. I didn't want to log on to BookTube, but I'm like, I'm going to support. I saw it and I enjoyed that. And then yesterday, even though I caught the tail end, just having the energy in that room and seeing those lives, it was like, I need to get back in this. I feel good when this, but I have been avoiding BookTube subconsciously, weirdly, in a weird way, because I just haven't been back, but just that energy within it made me feel so good. And I haven't watched any of the quarantine pages, but even hearing about them, I'm like, there's so many BookTube things that are going on, and I'm like so disassociated. I don't know. It's like a good welcome back. That was a long recap. I'm convinced I'm getting it. I'm a bull. Oh, you're a bull? That's so funny. Because, yeah, Taurus, that is a bull. Yep, thanks the 15th. It's so funny. My brother's birthday is the 13th. And funny enough, tangent, I know I talked about how The Last Dance, I've been into that docuseries about the Bulls 98 basketball team. Dennis Rodman has the same birthday as my brother. And growing up, I just know this fact because of growing up. And it was like just a huge random thing. Anyways, so those are really my only Taurus, the Tauruses that are in my life. Damn, I'm a Taurus too. Damn, there's a lot of Taurus energy in here. Happy birthday. Oh, Rachel is so lovely. Yes, so are you. Just come and read silently with us. I know. I say I'm doing baby steps. I'm finally reading on my lunch break again because I usually read on my lunch break. And I do it to deactivate and deconnect is what I was doing it at work because there's so much interaction where it's like overload for me in my head at work, like where I got to take a breather. Since I've been social distancing, I hadn't been reading because it's been nonstop and I just haven't really been. I've been on conference call after conference call and all this other stuff. And I haven't. So I finally got back to reading on my lunch break. So I have been making small strides toward it. It was definitely intimidating as well. Discovered a few months back. I have been binging her channel since. Oh my goodness. I just ordered one. Oh, approved. Rachel's panel was awesome. Agreed. That's a good idea. Yes, agreed. Okay, I'm caught up finally. But what was I saying? We were just talking about. I don't even remember. I guess I'm gonna do my lips and we're probably almost good to go because I did highlighter. I did this. I better do my thing. Happy early birthday. Oh, we're talking about zodiac signs. So really quick on that, I like had this I, like a lot of people, I realize, love the zodiac signs and love the stuff. I've never really gone deep into figure out, like, you know, what's your moon rising, your sun, all this. I don't know all those details. I will say I'm an Aquarius through and through. Like, everything about being an Aquarius, almost all of it. Like, I haven't really read something about an Aquarius and I'm like, that ain't me. Like, pretty much all of it is me. All of it, which is very interesting. Down to the fact that it's crazy because I have this weird thing with Geminis where I don't know people are Geminis, but when you're a Gemini, it's like this weird, I just love you so much. And then I will later find out you're a Gemini. And I'm like, wow, that's so crazy. And it's crazy because Dwayne's in Gemini. I didn't know that. But yeah, and it's funny because we have this Aquemini thing because I love Outkast. This is another tangent. But they have an album called Aquemini. And they also have a song, Aquemini, and it's like, until the end of time, you and I, Aquemini, whatever. Anyways, my whole point is, I think I love all signs. I will say Scorpio men, I've never really had that many great interactions with. I think that's the only sign I will say, but Scorpio women, I love and always have around me. I don't know what that's about. But, yeah, I just find it so interesting and intriguing. But I will say my favorite sign, more than even Aquarius, is definitely Geminis. Like, if I could be another sign, I would be a Gemini. Like, hands down. Like, I just find them amazing. My mom always said I'm a hard Taurus when I was younger. LOL, IDK, how to find my sudden mood. Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to, like, you can find it, like, if you just even Google and put in your date and you be needing details about your birth. And I'm like, who got all these details? Unless you have your birth certificate, I guess. But who's looking that up during that? You know what I mean? But you be really having to know your stuff to really figure out all that stuff. But they be having it, like, basically by the time you do the whole chart, it's like you done listed every zodiac sign there is. So let me not speak on this because I don't really know all there is about it. But I will say, as far as being an Aquarius, which, yeah, it's pretty much, it is what it is. It is accurate. But do you guys have a favorite sign outside your own? Yeah, you'll need the birth date, time, and place. Yeah. I hope we're not taking time away from your hubby. Oh, you are so considerate. No, this is us. We interact. We are quarantined together, social distance, so we're always around each other. But not only that, we have that relationship where we're actually always around each other. But we can be always around each other and not with each other at the same time. Like, I can social distance while I'm with, like, we have a very clear thing where it's like, we give each other our space, but then we also interact all the time and hang out all the time. It works. I love it. I'll say Dwayne is the one person where I can say I could be around almost all the time and probably not get annoyed because he can give space and vice versa. But I really click with Virgos well for some reason. Yes, when they see us made me cry my eyes out, especially the first one. Oh Lord, y'all done got back on that? Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Oh my goodness. I can't even talk about that because that makes me tear up. Okay, let me think of something happy and positive before I get out. You do have to be in a good mental space. That's why I haven't watched 7 Seconds yet. You haven't watched 7 Seconds? That's so interesting. Isn't that the Will Smith movie? I always think of Stingrays. Is that the Will Smith movie? But anyways, because I like that movie. I realize I like a lot of, I be hating on Will Smith sometimes, but I don't realize how many movies he gave us. He gave us so many good movies, and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, who doesn't, you know. Anyways, this was a very enjoyable live and a very enjoyable time. And I just appreciate y'all spending y'all Saturday hearing me and my random brain. And, oh, you're thinking of 7 pounds. Why? I'm not sure if this is the second time that you done realized exactly what I was thinking about. But that's exactly the movie I was thinking about. Yeah, so I never did 7. So what you ain't going to do is hop on live. You know what? You right, because I'm about to hop off. I've been on for, we've been on for over 2 hours. It's never taken me 2 hours to do my makeup. But this was, oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading as I'm, but this was so much freaking fun. I'm about to record this wrap up, but y'all, since y'all here, I'll tell y'all really quickly what I'm about to wrap up. So y'all already know what I'm recording, but okay, so first I'm talking about Saving Savannah, which is a book. No, you just got here, I know. And who gonna watch a 2-hour replay? I'm gonna keep it up, but who knows if you're gonna really watch it. It was a good combo. Probably should if you ain't got nothing to do. Saving Savannah, this was set in DC in the early 1900s, and it's interesting because it's during kind of, they just recovered from a flu pandemic, this is historical fiction, which I'm like, the timing. But anyways, it's like about upper class Black DC at the time. Really good. Liked it. Enjoyed it. I will talk more about this, but this actually talked about the Poro Company. I know we had talked about the Madam C.J. Walker story retelling, how it's like it's not accurate, all this other stuff. Poro Company was actually something that was brought up in this book, and it's the beauty line that was created by Annie, I forget her name. This is why lives, it would be hard for me to do a real live recap because I'm so bad at stuff like that. Great. I had actually, for the colored girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow is enough, I had actually only had seen some of the production. I don't think I ever really read it fully through. Some of these I had already knew, but this was just so amazing. This was amazing. Love this. So this is one of those, if it's a classic for a reason. And now I get it. And I'm like, wow, this was amazing. So I definitely recommend this. The other book that I had read while I was on this whole thing, which actually, now that I think about it, I put this in the stack, but I think I read this in February. Anyways, Can't Escape Love, Alyssa Cole. This was one of the ones I hadn't read. I was just like, I hadn't read anything. Oh, I adore the play. Yeah, I know, same. But I had never even read this, read it, like the mind. Anyways, Can't Escape Love. I just love everything Alyssa Cole. I love this. This is about a Black girl who she loves, she loves does she love anime or gaming? I can't remember because that's how far ago this was. Okay, so yeah, she made girls with, but what's the thing that she loves? Because she falls in love with Gustav, who's Asian and who really loves doing puzzles and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure she's into cosplay. She's like into cosplay and comics and stuff like that. I pre-ordered her Thriller last night. Oh yeah, did you? Anime, thank you. That's what it was, anime. Anyways, it's a novella. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. My favorite novella so far from Alyssa Cole is still Once Ghosted, Twice Shy. Love that. And I'm not saying it's just because I find I do this a lot, but Fabiola is Haitian in there, and she's like the love interest or whatever. And it's just, it's good. I love it. But I love this one too. Oh, this is it. Where's my Parable of the Talents? I meant to grab Talents, but I grabbed Sower. That was the other one that I had finished. And I had finished some other audiobooks, which I can't remember on audio, but I'm going to look at my notes to remember. None of it is clicking right now. But those are a preview of some of the books that I'm going to talk about. While I was in quarantine, I've been having fun as far as watching shows and movies and all that other stuff. Book-wise, it has been very hard for me to get back into, but I just now finally got back into, for those of you just joining, I talked about how this Hidden in a Straight Lick with a Crooked Stick is what I'm currently reading. Haven't finished it, but it is off to an amazing start. And yeah, I'm excited to go ahead and film this wrap up for you guys and to kind of let you guys know what I've been up to. I appreciate y'all spending y'all Saturday with me. I don't want to leave, but I gotta go right now. So I'm gonna go. Anyways, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Oh, let me stop. Okay. Bye, guys.